The Business Journal. The Dow from Stifel down 162 points to 42,107.
The early summer feel continues to run right through Tuesday, then slightly cooler. Lots of sunshine on this Monday afternoon. Have to call it warm, 88 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s for evening plans, 67 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, partly sunny. It's a little warmer. It's a little more humid, though there will be a touch of a breeze. 91 for the high on Tuesday. We have not hit 90 plus so far this year. We should do that on Tuesday. On Tuesday night, clouds take over. There'll be some showers and thunderstorms late night, 72. Wednesday and Thursday, periods of showers and thunderstorms and quite humid, 85 each day. It does not look like much in the way of severe weather, especially on Wednesday. Still some questions about Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, sunshine, 83, downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DG, Ask 1041 FM, KMOX. Happy Monday to you. It's a great song. Mm-hmm. It's too good. I just want to listen to it. The entire time. Over and over.
We should, once a week, we should get to just do a music shift. I think
we can do what the hell we want.
I think maybe Fridays should just be like Music Friday.
Yeah, I like it.
And we could pop on a couple times an hour.
When I first started, I would play a song at the end of the show. I was going until 7 back then. And then I started playing 2, and then 3, and then 5. And finally, my boss, Jeff Fallon, had to say, "You realize it's a talk station." Like, he was really treating me with kid gloves. He's like, you're new to this, and you're a lawyer, and you might sue us, so
maybe consider not doing that.
Maybe not play 5 in a row. Okay.
All right, just 4.
I'm skinny fat.
What?
Oh, why do you say that?
Because we all have our inner parameters of fat, right? And I got really skinny a few months ago, too thin, I think. And then I'm like, I'm the skinniest guy in the world. And I just started eating again. And so now I'm sort of like a little fat for my pants, my skinny pants.
Yeah.
So I'm skinny fat.
Not skinny jeans, to be clear.
Not skinny jeans. No, I'm not a skinny jeans guy.
I didn't think so.
No. I buy Calvin Klein with stretchy material.
Oh,
who doesn't need that?
Yeah, I love that. That's why I wear those things. But I'm not fancy. But
when I'm thin, I'm 32. And right now I'm 32, spilling out a little bit. You know, little muffin top.
32.
Yeah.
Dude.
Is that small?
I mean, I'm not. It's not small. It's pretty normal. But it's been a long time since I've been 32.
Mm-hmm. What was your biggest?
Oh,
I didn't know you had your
40.
Biggest.
Probably 40 was the biggest. Solid 36 right now.
That's not bad for as huge as you are. I mean, right? I imagine
not bad
the
for a
difference
fire
between
hydrant.
your chest and your waist are bigger than my chest and my waist.
That's how I hide my fat.
Yeah. It's a good way.
You just get bigger up top, and then it doesn't look as bad.
Yeah.
I love how for men's pants, it's like, this is the number of inches your waist is.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
women's pants, it's like, I don't know. What size do you think you are today, ladies?
Yeah. Why do they do that? Why is it like you're 2, but we're like, hey, just give us the measurements?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't
All right,
know.
how long
You just
is
have
it?
one number.
Yeah.
I don't know what's behind that. I don't know if it's girls being like, we want to feel tiny, or if it's like the evil fashion companies being like, we need them to feel.
Well, then
Is there any sensitivity to, you think, in general about like it saying
Yes.
I'm a whatever,
Yeah.
25 or
Even
6
for
or
a
whatever?
guy, it's like, don't just put the number on the pants.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind it. You know, people can tell.
I will say, I think I'm smarter than this, but I'm actually not. Like, if I'm looking for a pair of jeans, I want the number to be a certain number, regardless of how it fits.
I get it.
I
Which
got
is
what
so
you mean, yeah.
stupid,
No.
because it's like you want the jeans to fit you and look good on you, but
Yeah.
it's like, man, but if I could get a size down, I
Yeah.
would feel so good about myself,
Yep.
no matter how uncomfortable
What
that
if
is.
somebody made it so that a 4 was actually a 5 or 6, and then like they made it and said a number, but it was actually a higher number, and
Like
you could
A lot of companies
Making
do
regular
that.
size
like, say
condoms
mine
and
are-
calling them magnums.
like like mine's a 36, but it says 34.
yeah.
Yeah, the worst part is
Who am I fooling?
clothes shopping with my wife because she doesn't care, but like I do a little bit. So she'll be like across the store from me and she'll be like, "Here's some 78s. Do you think you might fit into some 78s? I found a couple."
70.
And I'm like, "Maybe. Guess we'll go try them on."
But I mean, I was definitely like, I forget what age. I don't know, maybe like 4th grade was probably, that's when I was the husky pants.
Yeah.
I think the husky moniker is so unnecessary.
I
I
totally
love
agree.
it. I think it's cute.
cruel.
Well, it's stupid because the pants are all made with an inseam and a waist size. That's
It's
all
like-
you need to know.
Yeah,
It's like
they're like,
having
"But you're
little
husky,
girls'
though."
pants called chubs.
Right, like it's
Little chubs.
But it was. Do they still make those like that? Do they still
I
call
don't
them
know.
that?
They were calling them huskies when I
Because
was a
70s.
kid.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
All right. Because like 70s, 80s, we know people were just cruel.
And
Like,
if you-
here you go, chunky
If
kids.
you had the husky version of the super denims, you weren't breaking those things in for a couple seasons.
No, you got to do some work. Walk around stiff-legged for about 2 months, 3 months.
Yes. No playing sports.
Knees don't even bend.
No.
Yeah.
No. Impervious. Start to say something. One of you guys said something I was going to follow up on. Say all your things again.
Big pants.
Husky pants,
Huskies.
fatties, mean. They
Big
were mean
pants,
in the
huskies,
70s and
mean
80s.
clothing
We
sizes.
all sound like we're on the pyramid show.
Yeah. Giving me nothing.
Was it anyone in the chat?
No.
Wandering into big and tall, and then they go, "Well, I'm guessing you're not looking for tall," and I go, "Yeah, no, not that one."
Yeah, one time, Wheels, when I was at my very biggest and depressed because I was pretty big. And I was non-ironically wearing overalls and a red shirt. So I
Okay.
looked like,
All right.
dog patch. And I was at a Walmart, okay, red flag after red flag, looking for some more fat guy pants. And so I'm in the men's department all by my lonesome, and I toot.
Okay.
And I don't just toot, I farted.
Yeah, it's like that was legit all in.
And
Yeah.
I had just come from a Chinese buffet because,
Uh-oh.
hello. And I decided to just go ahead and crop dust this thing
Yeah.
because no one's around.
Why
And
not?
I don't want to trust a toot and get betrayed yet again. So I just kind of let it go. And I start giggling because I'm all by myself, fat, in Walmart, farting. And it's not lost on me that this is a moment in my life.
Right.
And I turn around to go find Maureen to tell her, because that's how we are.
Yeah.
And when I turn around, there's a family standing there. They appeared to be of Hispanic origin, and they seemed to be confused at what was going on, and I just smiled and walked away.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
What
Have
else
a
you
good
gonna
one.
do?
Enjoy Walmart.
You gotta strike up a conversation.
Right.
I mean,
How was
like,
that?
Yeah, the experience has ended. Maybe just like a little tip of the cap, like, excuse me, ma'am.
Well, suppose I better be hitting the road.
Oh, would you look at that? It's time for me to leave.
Speaking of Husky
I
and
mean, who
Chugs,
hasn't done something like that, though?
I hadn't before that.
Really?
Or since.
Oh, I mean, I have before and since.
Really?
Not on purpose, but sometimes just like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
It'll just
Yeah.
happen to you sometimes.
It's the
Especially-
it was the kind of bad you only do when you think you're all by yourself.
Especially, thankfully, we don't have elevators to ride very often here.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like, in the elevator, and then somebody else comes on, and you're like, well, this is happening.
You're caught.
The worst is when you don't think it's going to be loud and then it's very loud.
Or
People
the-
start like investigating what that sound could have been.
Or it's the best, one of those.
I walked in.
Was that an earthquake? What happened?
I
It
was,
was a volcanic eruption somewhere near here.
People brace themselves. Oh, like,
Oh no, this with the Yellowstone geyser has finally gone off.
it's the New Madrid fault.
I was on the business end of it the other day.
Oh, no.
We have the executive bathroom, and you have to walk pretty much up to the door to see if it's closed or not. So I walked all the way up to the door just as it opened, and one of our coworkers walked out with ghosts and spirits around him, if you know what I mean. But at that point, I couldn't just go like, I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Like I had to go in and pretend like there was
like
nothing,
nothing going
and
on.
he had to pretend like there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Why do we
dance
have to
do.
pretend?
I know.
Couldn't it
I know.
just
It's like
be
you were
like,
in
"Oh,"
the bathroom. What
like-
do we think's happening?
You know, hey, buddy, you might want to wait a minute. Or 10.
Yeah.
Why don't we keep air freshener in the bathroom here?
I think they do, don't they? In the
I don't-
exec, I think we have one in the front.
We
dude's
very
room.
much do not have one in the normal.
Oh
one.
no, there used to be.
Unless it smells like pee.
Well,
We have the perfect sense to cover up the number two.
The all natural
Yeah.
scent.
You take your pick. It's not ideal, but it's better than
Yeah.
it could be.
It's yeah.
I know we're not supposed to talk about bathroom stuff, and a lot of people find it beneath camo wax. I don't. But it's just so weird, isn't it, that we have this thing we do, and we've just codified it. Like, here's where you do it. Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
Here are the rules. Here's what's across the line. Here's what's not.
A lot of unwritten rules, though.
Yes.
Kind of like
Yeah.
sports. Unwritten rules make it dicey.
No, like your dad never calls you aside and says, if you walk in and there's a guy at a urinal, you don't go stand right next to him.
Right.
At
You
least
try
mine
to, you
didn't
try to
say
get
that.
a little one, unless you have no choice.
little breathing room.
Yeah, that and the conversation thing. But
Yeah.
that's also like that varies because it depends on, do you know the person?
See, I can't because I can't do both.
Oh, okay.
I can't go and talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell you someone who can.
Hmm.
This guy right here.
Oh, I know. I've walked in on him.
He's a chatterbox. He talks more.
Yeah. He ramps them both up.
What else is there to do?
Fair.
Stand quietly.
It's fair.
You know how hard that is for me? To just stand quietly? Unless I got a remote control in my hand, I'm playing video games, and then I'm all right.
Wheels, were we talking about this off the air the other day? How strange it is that people bring their phones into the bathroom.
I don't think we did
Okay.
on the air anyway. Maybe off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not above it. I do it too,
Yep,
but it's just
of
a
course.
weird thing that it's like we all just one day we all just started doing that, and it's like
It's a great time killer.
There should maybe be some like wipes for the phones or something
Mm-hmm.
as you're leaving.
Yeah.
Now that we live in this society,
Yes.
Yeah, it's just best not to think about it.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm.
I know from Seinfeld, he can't take a book into a bathroom and then put it back in the stack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
So I'm guessing your phone's
Well, that's
not
why a
great
lot of
either.
times there are books and things that just stay in there.
Yes.
And I very rarely pick those up because it's like, again, what's everybody else doing whenever they're leafing through this pamphlet here?
I think
Like,
you know.
Well,
Yeah.
you could probably guess if it's sitting on the back of a toilet.
Yeah, it's like, well,
Just sitting there patiently
I'm
is all
probably
they're
gonna avoid that. at
See,
all
I'm
costs.
different.
You're fine with that?
I don't like it.
Yeah, Dave's like,
He's like,
"Ooh,
ooh, I've been waiting
give
for
me the
this
toilet
issue
book."
to come out.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best, In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Start your summer with a weekend showdown. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Busch Stadium June 6th through the 8th. Be there Friday for a cool new promo, the first ever Cardinals neck fan. Perfect for hot game days. Then on Sunday, young fans 15 and under take home a Rawlings Kids Glove. It's a weekend of big matchups and big giveaways. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Mason Wynn, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
The school year is finally over and it's summer vacation for all our teachers. Celebrate at Busch Stadium. Teachers Night presented by Millipore Sigma is back at the ballpark on Monday, June 9th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, you can take home an exclusive teachers-inspired Cardinals jersey featuring the birds on a pencil. As a special treat, the first drink of the summer is on the Cardinals. That's Monday, June 9th. Teachers Night at the ballpark. For tickets and details, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Steven Matz, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 120. Jody Swink Miles. That's what I want my name to be. That's a good name right there. That's a handle. Jody Swink Miles. Says, first time seeing you guys. Wild. Love you guys. Just picture me a little thinner.
Oh, my God, Dave.
Look. Muffin
Dave.
top.
Dave,
Don't
people
like
can
it.
only see you from the chest up.
Me and no likey.
It's very sweet when people say that they love, like, not just like love the show, when people say love you guys. That always makes me feel so good.
It's
and we've
very
had a
nice.
couple of those in the chat
Yeah,
today.
it's
So
very,
thank
very
you,
sweet.
everyone.
Very
So-
sweet.
So very nice.
Have you guys seen the 9 Dog 9 Beer thing?
What?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show before.
I know. I just saw someone do it, though, and it just, like, really
Oh.
impressed me.
Okay.
999.
Yeah.
So
9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings.
That's
I would do
pretty-
it. I would try it.
He didn't seem affected at all. Like, I thought he'd be more affected by the dogs.
Just some dude did it?
Just some dude. Yeah, at a White Sox game, and he was just like, beer number 4, beer number...
Is he one of those, like, is he a competitive eater? Like, is
No.
that his... No? Okay.
No, he was just a guy.
Because those guys eat a million of them in a
Yeah,
minute.
no, he was just
I mean,
a guy.
I think I could do 9 dogs, but I would definitely...
I would
think,
be so drunk on 9 beers.
Yeah, 9
Yeah.
beers
Yeah.
in 2.5 hours would definitely have an effect on me, I think.
the beer's got to be so filling on top of the dogs,
Oh.
you know.
3 and 3.
That's a lot of... that's a
In
lot of
9.
liquid in 3 hours, essentially.
3 and 3 would be a lot.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm skinny
And then you
fat.
got to think they stopped serving alcohol at like, what, the seventh
Seventh inning, yeah.
So
Yeah.
then your 8th and 9th inning beers are probably
Warm.
kind of warm and
Yep.
flat.
Yep. You had to sit there
Dogs
with
are kind of cold.
Yeah.
them. Well, they'll sell you dogs all the way up to the last. But, yeah, those beers are
Oh,
going
yes,
to
they
be
will.
sitting there a little bit.
Oh, yes, they will. Did you guys have tick check when you were kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think once or twice.
Mm-hmm. I still do tick check.
Do you?
I'm coming in from the wood, which is
sexy time.
Which is rare, believe me, that I'm coming in from the woods. But on the
I'm
Well,
in
he
the
lives in a wooded
woods.
area.
once every 7 years occasion that I am under a tree, I'll go in.
Phoebe didn't believe me. She has a girlfriend who has some property down like Steelville, and they were there not this weekend but last. And we all went to dinner. And she's like, "Get this, I got a tick." And so I tried to be like, oh my God, no way. And then I threw in there like I had a tick every single night of my life. And she was like, no way. And I'm like, honey, we had tick check every night.
Yeah.
You know, my mom and dad had this black flashlight with a red plastic top.
Okay.
So it just glowed red.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why they would do this, but rather than just turn the bathroom light on and look at my tiny naked body, they would turn the light off and use the flashlight and look. Maybe by turning the lights off in the room, they thought the ticks would become animate and like move around or something.
Oh, it's safe.
I don't know. Did George Mayhe tell you his tick story?
I don't think so.
He told us on the air, didn't he, Rach?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went looking for wild mushrooms, and apparently there were lots of ticks. And he and the friend that he was with, they had to do a tick check out there in the field. And then some bikers rode by while that was going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, he helped his buddy do a tick check?
He was kind of forced into the tick
he was like,
check.
yeah, because it was like, okay, there's lots of ticks. We got to make sure there are none
Did he
anywhere.
drop his pants or something?
I think they did. Yeah, they did the full Monty, apparently.
Yeah.
At least that's the way George told it. And he told this on the air. He didn't just tell this off the air.
Well, how would the ticks get there?
I don't know, because I guess they didn't like
they didn't get anywhere.
No, they didn't do what they didn't do. Oh, they didn't like cuff their pant legs, or they
Yeah,
didn't wear
put their
something.
socks
Yeah,
up above.
right,
Okay.
right. So, and it turned out, I think George said it turned out there were ticks in unfortunate situations. But it was in the woods, and it was that whole kind of thing. And
Everyone had their own way to get them off. Like, you could just grab them and pull them, but then you had the whole, either it's an urban legend or it's not.
It's not.
If if their heads stay in there, it gets infected and makes more ticks or whatever. And
You become a tick.
then a lot of times they would blow out a match
Yeah.
and put the match on it.
Mhm.
And then my dad's favorite was just to put a lit cigarette on it.
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that'll do it.
That'll make everyone back away.
We'll
yeah,
do it.
Yeah, that sucker's like, yeah.
But yeah, you can get still get the Lyme disease or whatever it is if you just rip the head off and the head stays in.
Dave says, I thought the dark flashlight method was to check for tapeworms. Oh, it was, Dave Hines.
Yeah, I was
Trust
just
me
thinking
on
of
this.
the tapeworm conversation.
Trust me on this.
So is it just the thing to check for anything?
I sucked on a lot of rocks as a kid, so I tended to get a lot of worms.
Funny.
I love that it's like, you know what we should do? We should turn all the lights off and use the weird flashlight and just make
Yeah.
this as strange a memory
Yeah.
as
Well, this is-
possible.
We're just going to
Yeah.
need you to get on your knees and go akimbo for
I mean,
us.
let's be honest.
All right, boy, it's parasite check time.
70s and 80s parents were not beyond just doing something to make you think they knew what they were doing.
Or the big one for my mom and dad, we're just not caring at all how this may affect you. there was with both the tapeworm check, they're just worm check. I don't think it's a tapeworm, it's just worms, just classic worms. But for that and the light bright for the suppository, there was no, hey, let's have a talk. Here's how this is going to go. Could be a little weird for you. It's going to be a little weird for us. Yeah.
They're like, we gave you a light bright. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
complaining about.
Yeah. Never finish that clown's face. Never will.
How did we get on this topic?
Andrew,
Okay.
Worms.
being inappropriate. Worms. 14 million honeybees escaped after a semi-truck overturned in Washington State.
Oh.
We can't afford that.
No,
We're
we
out
need
of
honeybees. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they're dead. I mean,
Right.
they could all form their own little colonies,
Sure.
but they're not going to go where they were needed.
Yeah, they're living feral now.
Good luck rounding them up.
Right? Yeah.
They were like,
They're
Got one.
deserters.
How often did you guys get stung by bees?
Never once.
really?
Oh, shut up.
Never in my life. Bee or wasp. Never been stung.
Wow. Lucky you.
How do you work that out?
Don't go outside much.
Okay. Just don't have them inside your house.
Don't get out much and get the ones you see inside, outside.
Yeah, I got one of those in my bed while I was asleep.
Ooh.
Get stung in your bed?
I was sleeping. I was in high school sleeping, and I woke up. My hand just hurt, like really hurt. And I didn't know what it was. I just went downstairs and got ice, and then fell asleep on the couch. And when I went back up there in the morning, there was a big dead wasp laying in my bed.
Damn. How
Yeah.
big?
Pretty big, as big as a wasp can be.
It's like a gherkin pickle?
Yeah, it was like a truck. I don't know, but that sucker got me good, man.
I remember throwing rocks at a wasp nest, which we called a wasp nest, and hitting it and running. And as my right thigh was up, 3 of them landing on my right thigh and stinging, and me going down like I had been shot.
Oh, no, it hurts, dude.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, I got a couple of regular old bee stings, like stepped on one time because we were all dumb and just running barefoot outside all the time.
Yeah.
I got one as a bunch as an adult. I didn't realize there was like some kind of nest or something that was something that they had built in the ground in my backyard, and I went over with the mower and they all went
damn.
So I got a couple of that one.
I got attacked by ants that way one time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know which would be worse, bitey ants or a sting.
These were real bitey ants.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because there's a lot of them, and usually the stings are just a couple.
I was wearing a diaper, and I had a tiny little bat, so I would have been in my 30s probably.
Was this around the Walmart incident?
We do it in Lombardo?
Yes, please.
Do it.
Okay, join us for the grand opening of the Talons at Linneman on Saturday, June 7th. That's this Saturday from noon to 5 p.m. out in St. Peters. You can tour the beautifully decorated Arlington model home. They're going to have free appetizers for you and opportunities to win great prizes. Now, the Arlington is a spacious 2-story townhome with 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and over 1,800 square feet of living space. It features an open concept great room, a dining area, and a stylish kitchen. This is going to be the perfect home for entertaining.
You can take advantage of pre-construction pricing up to $25,000 off. These are great events. Rach and I have been to several of these. They really do it up nicely. They have people there that you can ask questions of, but they're not going to follow you around. If you are interested in your first or last home, upsizing, downsizing, go to lombardohomes.com.
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Game.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long. Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old entry door too. It's Cash for Clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free, in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
We take you now to Dave Murray's forecast, which is sponsored by Sachs Financial.
It's a warm afternoon with lots of sunshine on this Monday. 88 should do it for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies, keeping it in the 80s for evening plans. We'll drop it back to 67. Tuesday, partly sunny, a little breezy, a little warmer, and a little more humid on Tuesday, 91 degrees. We should hit 90 plus on Tuesday for the first time this year. Clouds take over Tuesday night. Showers and thunderstorms developing well after midnight. 72 for a warm overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday unsettled with periods of showers and thunderstorms and quite humid. 85 each day. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours. Based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to everybody. Mondays are just real things, aren't they? They just are.
I mean, Garfield wasn't kidding, man.
No.
That didn't come out of nowhere.
About that or lasagna. Nope. Let me follow up my tick check with another South Rock Santa-ism. So we would make corn. Andrew, I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
We would make corn a lot, and we would get it from Lasha's Farms, where I was on the corn crew. Hate to brag. And we would call them roastin' ears, but all one word, roastin' ears.
Okay.
Does anyone out there, does this make any sense? Did anyone call them roastin' ears?
Well, there's a difference, right? There's roasting ears, there's stripping ears, or whatever they call them, and then there's like feed ears.
What's stripping?
Like that you would take off all of the kernels for and make like sweet corn or whatever. And then roasting ears would be, like pan corn.
Canned corn.
And canned corn, whatever.
Panned corn and canned corn?
Canned corn. And then there's there's the
feed corn.
The roasting, there's the feed corn. Then there's the roasting ears, and that's the ones that
Have you heard that before, though?
I've heard roasting ears, yeah.
All right.
It's essentially, I guess it's like the difference between like eating corn and feeding corn.
No, I know the difference. I just didn't know if anyone called it that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that before.
No, I get the difference between pig corn.
And then it's kind of in the name.
Mm-hmm.
Those pigs got it so good.
Rach, what's the deal with the kid working at BK?
Yeah, I have mixed emotions when it comes to stories like this. So there was a boy that graduated high school, 18-year-old Mikhail Baker, graduated high school. And most high school graduates, the night you graduate, you're going to a party, you're celebrating with family, you're doing something fun. But Mikhail, just hours after receiving his diploma, he clocked in for a shift at his local Burger King. So I guess they had a last minute opening, and he was like, all right, I'll go take that shift. So he goes, he clocks in. I believe he did the shift in his not like his cap and gown, but in like a suit or something. So it caught the attention of people in the area. It's posted on social media, just celebrating his dedication, which I think all of that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me a little sad that he felt like he needed to go do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the exact circumstances leading up to that, whether it's you need the money or you just have such a dedication to your job at Burger King, you're going to take this shift on the night you graduate from high school. Well, he goes viral on social media and within days raises $22,000 because someone just thought, we should reward this kind of work ethic. As of Saturday morning, the fundraiser has now surpassed $115,000. Wow. So this is to cover his tuition, his books, supplies, any educational needs that Mikhail is going to face in the future. like I said, I just have mixed emotions about stuff like this because it's like, I think it's great that he has such a work ethic that he wanted to go in, but then also it's like there are other kids that do this and then they don't get $100,000 GoFundMe. We as a society just seem to react to this in such bizarre ways.
Yes,
I agree.
You got to go viral.
Yeah.
If it goes viral, everybody's got money.
It's sort of like I've said so many times that when a cow falls off a truck, now we can't eat it. And so now that you know this kid is working on graduation night, we got to give him $100K. Like, I think two things can be true at once. This kid can deserve all the accolades in the world and a little bit of pity, I think, and we don't have to make him rich.
Yeah.
I have no, I'm not going to bitch about it and say he shouldn't take the money, but it's just kind of arbitrary.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the arbitrary is the way I was going to describe is our reactions. Because, like, to me, the kid, it is a little sad. Like, I would feel bad if I had to work after my graduation. Like, if I had to go do a shift at whatever, I'd be like, man, this sucks. I'm supposed to be at a party. I'm supposed to be hanging out with my friends or my family at home or whatever, and I have to go work at the BK Lounge. Like, I'd be bummed about that if I were in that spot. But it's weird how, you're right, that's probably happening to way more people than we would think of. But one story goes viral, and it's everyone else's reaction that's like, oh, well, let's give him a bunch of money. It is fascinating how our minds work that way.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not even saying it's bad. It's just odd.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Is it the novelty of it? Let's say that 40 stories came out like that today. People aren't giving to 40 people.
No.
In fact, they're probably giving to none.
Emotions matter more than facts. To the way we react to things. You could send me we can send a person a list of facts. And here are the facts. There are 40 kids working right now, and they all just graduated, but they don't have the money. Their families don't have it, so they just have to take the job. And if one of those hit you for some reason emotionally, whatever that reason is, that's the one you're going to give to.
Yeah.
It's not about who needs what more or, because we know we walk down the street here, there are homeless people literally outside our building right now. Lots of them. And they don't hit someone's emotions the way that this story did, for example.
Yeah. Yep. I'd hire that kid.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And again, like, I don't want to say like, oh, he shouldn't have that money. I don't feel that way. It is just bizarre that that's the because I'm just putting myself in the shoes of someone who would feel moved to donate by that TikTok video.
And I would.
Once I got to the GoFundMe and it's like, he's already raised $100K, I would probably not donate at that point.
No, that's a good point. Yeah,
totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, all right, yes.
Yeah, good for you, dude. You win.
Yeah.
It's a mini form of winning the lottery going viral, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what else I've noticed? Aren't a lot of bald guys in the major leagues.
Oh, there's more than you think.
How do you know how many I think there are?
I don't know, but there's more than you think.
Seems to me it's the handsome guy
They're
thing.
all wearing hats.
Yeah,
so
they always have hats on all the time.
Not always. I see things.
Yeah. But then there are other guys you're like, wow, he's 29 and there's not much to go on.
Every now and then, it's like most major leaguers are attractive. Every now and then you'll see an Uggo. And you're like, you must have been real good.
You must be awesome.
You must be amazing.
I wonder, it's interesting you put it that way. I wonder how much of that is the expectation for what, quote unquote, success looks like is what informs our opinion about good versus bad looking.
I think very much so.
Because if an athletic person ends up being kind of like how you view a good looking person because that's how you that's how you grew up, that's what you saw. Well, then maybe in a neutral world, it wouldn't be that way. But because we kind of expect that, or that's what we think of it as, that fits that description.
Yeah.
Man, I would have been one of the Uggos. One of the reasons I didn't make it. That's what I'm going to tell myself.
I was told I was too attractive.
Oh, my God.
It's distracting to the other guys on
You,
the
sir,
team.
belong on a runway.
I had too much what they called a face game.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
Face card doesn't decline.
You know what I did last night? This is so me. I was TikToking, and who's my boy? He's very old and very rich, and people like him.
Warren Buffett?
Yes.
All right.
It was Warren Buffett, and the guy talks like this, and he's like, here's the number one rule I've learned about investing in my days with an investor. It's pretty good advice, right? I thumb it. And the next story is, did Posh Spice ruin her son's wedding by dancing?
I bet
and
you
I'm like,
watched that one.
I was in. I watched the whole thing.
Did she?
I think she did.
Think she did?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. He was supposed to have a romantic dance with his wife, and they called them up. And then whoever did the calling said, and a special surprise, the most beautiful woman here. What's her name? Victoria?
Victoria Beckham.
Beckham. And so she comes up and dances with her son, and the new wife runs out crying.
Oof. That's
better than anything Warren Buffett's going to give me.
What in the world?
That is a ruined. Now, was that her idea or was it the DJ's idea?
It was her idea.
Okay, then yes.
Wait, she planted an idea at her son's wedding?
Evidently so.
To call herself the most beautiful woman here?
Something like that.
Yeah, then well, then you ruined the wedding.
What in the world?
That's going to stick.
Yeah, something tells me that she's not going to be the most popular mother-in-law in the world.
Yeah, they have kind of an infamous feud. I've just seen a lot of speculation online. I don't really care about this family at all. No offense. I got nothing against them. I don't care about the drama, and yet I've seen so much of the drama as far as like Brooklyn Beckham and his parents no longer get along because they don't like his wife.
Mother-in-laws are a real thing. Like on TikTok, I've seen a whole lot of them mess up like gender reveals, which is hard for me because I hate gender reveals. I kind of want to see them messed up. But so many times, like the mother-in-law will run up there and start grabbing stuff. You just got to watch them. That's all I'm saying. You rarely see the father-in-law. He's probably just so checked out.
I mean, and I'll agree. I see oftentimes on Reddit, people will be complaining about the mother-in-law situation, less so about the father, yes. I don't know if it's just like you're fighting over the husband, what's going on, but it does seem to be a common trope.
Is that a real thing?
Just done.
I say, is it a real thing though, or is that just one of those kind of like dumb dad on TV things where we just assume it's always true?
Oh, I don't think it's always true, but I do think there are some mothers and sons who don't have great boundaries, and then the son gets married, and it's like,
okay, I'm gonna get in trouble. But I think when you meet another couple, and the guy is the one who's extra, that's kind of rare. Like if you and I are a couple and we went out with Wheels and Susan.
Okay.
And we're like, well, Wheels is something, right? Well, that's a bad example because that's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah, it would be.
But it's typically it's not the man who's extra.
I get you.
Or am I just wrong?
I've definitely met a lot of extra.
Yeah, but they kind of stand out.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because I haven't done a lot of that with.
Although we're in a room full of them right now.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I would think you were extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably the extra.
You think
one.
I was normal.
Yeah. Because they're not, yeah. Yeah.
That's what everyone listening is thinking. Dave's so normal.
He's just so normal.
Just going to like my family, my dad is extra. My mom is absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's the
my
opposite.
mom was extremely extra.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm completely wrong about this.
I think it's just mixed. But we all kind of just fall into assumptions.
I think Megan and I are kind of both extra. Like, I think you would walk away going, what an extra couple. Like, I don't think you'd single out, like, one of us specifically. I think you'd go, a couple of weirdos.
Damn, it's all of us. My brother's extra and his wife is not. Man.
Tell you guys about the Gelman team. It is an interesting time. It's going to be an interesting summer. The Fed have signaled that they're going to do a couple of rate drops. That would help to get the logjam going. But right now, a lot of people have taken their available homes off of the MLS because they were sitting there. And so there are fewer homes to compete with. It's kind of like winter during the summer. So summer is usually a glut when every house is out there and every house is prettied up. And now yours doesn't look nearly as good as it would have a couple months ago. But right now, the way things are going, you have a really good shot. So as I always advise you, and I swear to God this is true, the more complicated your situation is, the better the professional you need. You always need the best doctor, lawyer, architect, real estate agent that you can get. But especially when things are going, this is not the time to use a real estate agent that plays golf with your brother-in-law. This is the time to hire the Gelman team. If you want to find out what we think your home is worth right now, we'll do it down to the penny on the front page of our website without contacting you. That's thegelmanteam.com. When you're ready to talk, 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Are you guys hip to the Senator Ernst kerfuffle over the weekend?
No.
She was giving a talk, and she was talking about Medicare and specifically how illegal immigrants are not to be signed up for it, and they will be taking off the Medicaid rolls. And someone yelled out, "People are going to die," and then she said this.
1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sakes.
And then she gave an apology that somehow went even worse. Let's see if we have that.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize for a statement that I made yesterday at my town hall. I was in the process of answering a question that had been asked by an audience member when a woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, "People are going to die." And I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well. But for those that would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Pretty weird apology, right?
That's not an apology.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus got to do with it.
That's an I'm sorry, you're stupid. And, of course, the idea here that you're going to lay yourself out as a Christian when your policies are not Christian. And I'm not saying government policies should be, but you can't be, well, I love Jesus. Is that what Jesus would tell immigrants? You think he'd be like, yep, too bad, you're going to die. That's too bad for you. You think that's the response? That's a Christian person's response? Get out of here. Sorry, that's a person that uses their religion to cover their own ass. If you believed that and it ruled your life the way you claimed that it do, your attitude and policies would have to be different.
Yeah. It was a real bad day for Joni Ernst.
I mean, how stupid can you be to be in that position and be as cold about what you're saying? Because there's a way to handle that.
I'm so thankful I didn't have to go over the tooth fairy thing.
Why did she even post that?
She thought she was killing it.
I don't know, man. And then I saw a couple of responses to that. I think Chris Murphy, is he from Connecticut?
Sounds right.
Chris Murphy from Connecticut. His response to that was, yeah, we all know we're going to die. We just hope it's going to be when we're 80 or 90 and not when we're 40, which is the point.
Yeah, we just don't want to die now.
Nobody's saying, wait a minute, what? We're going to die? Of course we know that.
And there are absolutely defensible ways to answer that question.
Yes.
Not everyone is not everyone gets the rights of citizenship. These are for citizens. People who are non-citizens have other types of things, but they're not the same. This is a grown-up thing to say.
Right.
Everyone dies is just a really flippant, stupid, cold thing to say. But had it just ended there, it would have been a lot better than her stupid apology.
But that's the kind of explanation when you're a parent you give to a child when you don't feel like explaining something.
Yeah.
Why, Dad? Because I said so.
You're just all so stupid.
Because I said so. That's why. Like, a reasonable, even if people don't like it, you can give a reasonable answer. Like, look, we just can't take care of everybody.
Right.
We can't.
That's reasonable.
We will go broke. It will hurt other people. It could hurt your family member. Like, there's a good, rational way that I would expect somebody in her position to be able to handle and not get flustered and just be a mean brat.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think Christian should be pretty upset by that post she made.
Yeah.
To pivot from like, you're so stupid, I'm so glad I don't have to explain the tooth fairy. But anyway, if you want to see eternal and everlasting life, embrace my Lord and like, she sounds sarcastic when she says embrace Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, just what is the point?
It's like, let me just do a favor for you morons.
You know what I'm really tired of are these people who are like, oh, I'll just double down and I think I'm being so hilarious with my snark. Like, a strong person doesn't have to do that. Like, you don't have to clap back. You don't have to be like, actually, you're so dumb. Like, just don't say anything. Just let your terrible comment hang there and live with it instead of doing a fake apology. The fake apology is so much worse than the initial stupid comment, in my opinion.
And every one of the people that, and I'm not going to differentiate between parties, but every one of the people that say dumb things, they're cowards. Because they would never face somebody that's going to ask them hard questions. Like in the wake of this, would you do an interview with somebody that's going to grill you? No, of course not, because you're scared. Because you don't know how to handle yourself. And if you can't, then you should shut up.
Yeah, they really can't handle themselves. They can't take any pushback at all.
If you can't handle a town hall meeting where somebody shouts something out that, by the way,
in politics,
you and your staff should have anticipated would happen if you have half a brain, I don't know how you can't be ready for that. I'm an idiot, and I would be ready for that.
And then to like, oh, I know how I'll squirm out of this. I'll just bring up Christianity.
And the tooth fairy.
And the tooth, like, it's blowing my mind what a stupid move that was.
Yeah.
Like, very, very, very dumb. You are making yourself look so much worse than you initially did.
She's always played the game of just flying under the radar. Like, no one knows who she is. She's just very bleh.
Right.
And now we know who she is.
Yeah, now I do know who she is. Great point. She sure showed all of us, didn't she?
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
There's an old joke about Uncle Sam's new tax short form. The first line says, "How much did you make?"
The next line says, send it in. Really, not that funny, but that's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay taxes. Steve All of the All Financial Group invites you to take their tax challenge. What if your current plan included thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes and fees? Or maybe higher Medicare premiums or a lower Social Security check? What if the savings you realized could allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about that right now? Take the All Financial Group Tax Challenge and find out. There's no charge. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Went to Schnucks yesterday just to stock up on groceries for the week. And before I went to the store, I was browsing my Schnucks Rewards app, kind of checking out what's on sale this week, what has a coupon this week, helps me plan my meals, and saves me money. So the Schnucks Rewards app is really, really great. If you haven't downloaded it already, go do it now. Just search for the Schnucks Rewards app in your app store. Plus, you earn 2% cash back on every single thing that you purchase. And I've been telling you guys, this year, Schnucks has lowered everyday prices on thousands of items. Well, they just lowered prices on even more items. Items like Kraft Singles, Breyers Ice Cream, Pop-Tarts, Pepperidge Farms buns, even some household supplies like Clorox wipes. And remember, this is not a sale item. These are dependable everyday prices. So the next time you're in store, just check out the digital shelf tags around the store to find tons more items, all with lower prices. These are everyday savings you can count on right at your local Schnucks store. And don't forget to use that Schnucks Rewards app while you shop.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
A few years ago, CTV was a buzzword. Now it's your most important channel, while your current DSP is still playing catch-up. Viant's been leading CTV from the start, delivering real results across the world's most premium streaming content, viewed by real consumers, backed by real reporting. With AI-driven optimization, people-based targeting, and inventory from the biggest names in entertainment, Viant doesn't just reach audiences, it moves them. Viant, where premium streaming meets performance. Visit Viant.ai to unlock real results today.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got sunshine, 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. The latest on what the FBI called a targeted act of violence during an event in support of Israeli hostages in Boulder, Colorado. CBS News correspondent Matt Piper says the suspect is now facing some serious charges.
The FBI says the man charged in the attack in Boulder, Colorado that left 8 people injured told police he planned it for a year and would do it again. Mohammed Salomon told investigators that he targeted what he described as a Zionist group and that he researched on YouTube how to make Molotov cocktails. The affidavit was released in support of a federal hate crime charge now filed by the Justice Department. CBS News has learned that Salomon most recently was driving for Uber.
The suspect is an Egyptian national. He arrived in California in 2022 on a non-immigrant visa. The Department of Homeland Security said he had recently been living in Colorado Springs. The White House is signaling President Trump and China's President Xi will hold a long-awaited call this week. It comes as trade tensions between the world's two biggest economies ratcheted back up. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
We're told that there are conversations taking place at lower levels, but we're still watching to see if President Trump and President Xi themselves will actually have that conversation.
Stargazers could be rewarded this summer.
Central Methodist University astronomy professor Paul Temple says watch for a recurring nova expected to explode at some point in deep space. It was supposed to do so last year, but is overdue.
it should be fun when it goes off because it's not something you see every day.
He says there's also the Corona Borealis, which he says will look like a Roman crown forming 3/4 of a circle. And he says, watch for the star Vega, one of the brightest stars in the sky. Sue Danielson, Missouri Net.
Is your kid a living room or a bedroom kid? Parents have been asking the question online.
Some parents are kind of making inferences about what that means about the way children are feeling safe and secure in the home.
Dr. Erica Rutledge, licensed clinical psychologist with SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, says it could really depend on a child's personality, not the atmosphere in the home.
Some kids could be more introverted, need just a little bit more me time, a little less noise, need more time to decompress. And some kids are more extroverted, where they really like the social life and like to be around people.
Rutledge tells KMOX a bigger indication of problems is if you see changes in behavior. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk. U.S. manufacturers are navigating their businesses through a sea of tariff uncertainty. Jason Brooks has that.
The Institute for Supply Management's manufacturing index contracted in May for the third consecutive month, with the imports index plunging to its lowest level since 2009. Comments are filled with tariff and economic uncertainty concerns, with a transportation equipment sector executive saying the impact of ever-changing trade policies of the current administration has wreaked havoc on suppliers' ability to react and remain profitable, while a computer and electronic products executive says no one is willing to take on inventory risk due to the tariffs.
ISM's monthly manufacturing employment index remained in contraction territory. The Dow from Stifel down 14 points to 42,255. Construction on 55 South at Bates. That's got the left lane closed. Bit of a traffic jam there. Got emergency vehicles on 6440 East at Spady on the right shoulder. Also 70 eastbound. Emergency vehicles just past Grand on 70 East. That's got the right lane closed there.
It's a warm afternoon with lots of sunshine on this Monday. 88 should do it for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies. Keeping it in the 80s for evening plans. We'll drop it back to 67. Tuesday, partly sunny, a little breezy, a little warmer, and a little more humid on Tuesday, 91 degrees. We should hit 90 plus on Tuesday for the first time this year. Clouds take over Tuesday night. Showers and thunderstorms developing well after midnight. 72 for a warm overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday unsettled with periods of showers and thunderstorms and quite humid. 85 each day. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Siding Express and SidingExpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie Siding installation. Visit SidingExpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That is SidingExpress.com. We've got sunshine 86 in St. Peters and Florissant, 85 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
It's a jam right there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nina's getting funky.
What up?
I said Nina's getting funky with it.
Who's Nina?
She sang this.
What's her last name?
Jenkins.
Isn't it
that's
just like
true.
Madonna? Isn't it like a one-name thing?
Probably. I never caught her last name.
Last name's Balloon.
Yeah, I think that is just a one-name thing. Isn't that like a protest song? Like it sounds all happy and
It's
stuff?
about nuclear war.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like the 80s. It'll give you the happiest sounding song about nuclear
Yeah,
bombs.
the red balloons are nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
So.
And it sounds like a...
But you can dance to it.
And a lot of it's in German, too, so nobody knows what's being sung.
Yeah.
It just sounds happy.
Okay, so Nina is the band. Her name isn't Nina.
Oh.
Whatever.
But that was
Nobody
kind of
knew
an
the
awesome
band.
mistake.
Yeah.
We just saw her in the video. We don't knew the band.
Yeah, what band?
Oh, she must be Nina.
Speaking of bands, I learned something over the weekend. This is a Trish Gazelleism. This is the kind of thing that Trish, like all the time, is like, you ever notice this? I was at Brian McKenna's block party over the weekend. It was fantastic. Good on everyone who put that on. That was really, really great. JC spearheaded it, and there were tons of people. There were hundreds, if not 1,000 people there. It was really wonderful. But I ran into Mark Close, okay? My old partner in crime, my brother from another mother. And we're talking, and he goes, hey, Tuesday, the band is playing. So I think they're playing at Faust Park, just so everyone knows. You can go out and see close enough in Faust Park. He goes, we're playing Tuesday, and I want you to come out and sit in with the band. And so I knew that Tuesday I'm going to the game with Phoebe. And I say, oh, I already know I can't come because there's a baseball game on Tuesday and I'm taking Phoebe. And he was crestfallen.
Aw.
I could tell he was very disappointed. And then I thought I could have just lied. I could have just said, yeah, which is my usual go-to. Let me check it out and see what I have going on Tuesday, even knowing I can't make it, because then he'll forget about it and he's not going to text me to remind me. And then it'll just be one of those like, oh, gosh, I forgot all about it. So I hurt my friend by telling him the truth.
I don't think I wouldn't look at it that way.
He cried.
I think he's disappointed, but
But I could have just left him up in the air, and
But
he
what if
wouldn't
he
have been
did text you?
disappointed.
Then you're going to disappoint him anyway.
You would have gotten a call on Tuesday night that's like, hey,
Like,
buddy
hey, all right,
boy,
buddy,
I'm
we go
waiting
at
for you to-
7.
We got the kit warmed up for you,
And
baby.
Dave's like, ooh, I'm at Busch Stadium, bud.
So you did the right thing.
Yeah, you're fine,
Okay.
Dave.
Mhm.
Also,
it's
the
your
band,
friend. He
the,
gets it.
The band is Close Quarters.
Oh, he
with a K.
changed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the Beatles changing their name.
Does Quarters also have a K?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
I promise you.
Oh, my Lord. He loves it. He loves the pun. So he's playing on the 20th. I think I'm going to go.
Fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Now you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it one day.
Yeah, I was just intrigued by, oh, that's why you never tell the truth.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
All right.
that's why all of us use the little white lies once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
just to avoid crushing a person's soul.
Do you know the new welcome that's driving everyone crazy in stores?
Mm-mm.
The welcome
Yes, it's a welcome.
message or sign or
You guys walk in as a couple to my store.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Ding, ding. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in. Welcome in is the new welcome,
Oh.
and it's making people crazy.
Why?
They think it's too artificially folksy. No one says welcome in.
Sure, they do.
Who just shouts welcome unless you're running a business? Usually
Yeah.
you're just like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, if you're coming into my house, I'm not gonna.
like, welcome, friends. I don't know. Maybe other people do that.
I think it's weird to just be like, welcome.
Who are you, Willy Wonka?
Welcome in.
So you guys are down with it.
I'm
Well,
fine
yes.
with it.
It's fine.
It's just like it's such a I don't know, such a non-thing.
Yeah, if you Google it, you'll see people are like up in arms.
Yeah.
What a weird world.
You can't spend your life getting mad at stuff like this.
You got to save it for Joni Ernst.
Absolutely.
And
Save it for the
fake
people
Christians.
who really
and for
deserve it.
and that person driving slow in the left lane.
Can I just
well,
say,
they're fine.
Can I just say something about Christians? We all know I'm not a believer. Used to be, am not. And I have said this many times in the air. A lot of that is out of respect for true Christians. Because I could, like many of my comrades in arms and radio, lie about being a Christian to get you on my side, and then you never know how I really am. I would much rather say, here's how I really am. I'm not perfect. I don't live a Christian life. I try to do my best and not hurt people, but I have in the past, and I try to do better. But there are maybe 5 people in my life who are Christians who seem like it, who are set apart, like Sue and Wiggins and Tim Ezell and Brad Young, people who walk the walk and talk the talk. Most of them are just as crappy as me. And I know it's faith, it's not works. I know you're not earning your way into heaven. But when you lead with it, you should probably back it up.
Isn't faith's not work kind of a get out of jail free?
Well,
Like, I can do nothing and just buy it.
That's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like the evangelicals, it was very much like, you do not deserve to be with Jesus. Just get that out of your head. It's because you have faith in his gift of his blood. That's why you're getting in.
I mean, I get the two things maybe, like combined, like it's a dual track. That makes some sense. Because it's different. I grew up Catholic, so it's different. Because they are much more about works.
Right, because you tell the tree by the fruit it bears.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
what fruit you bearing?
Yeah. Again, I'm not really trying to argue dogma. I'm kind of like with you, though. Is like, if you're going to be it, be it.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I really have respect for people in any, I don't care what religion, to be honest with you. If you follow it to the T and you're not extreme and trying to make other people live your way,
yeah,
God love you.
I just think it should be noticeable. I don't expect anyone to be the Pope. I don't expect anyone to be like a nun. Everyone is flawed. Everyone's compromised. Everyone makes mistakes, and you get up and you dust off and you try it again. But I just think that when people lead with it, I want you to know about this. I think you should probably follow it up.
I say I don't mind that as long as it's who you are.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if that's the real deal, if that's how you are and you're going to live it, God, great. But isn't it just in general, though, forgetting what anybody's belief system is, being genuine and not kind of being a BSer is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? Not trying to convince people you're something.
Going off on people, can I now go off on the left? Oh, my Lord. Are you people bereft of ideas? You are supposed to be the cool, hip people. You're supposed to be the fun ones, the ones who are creatives, the ones you have to look out for because you can turn a phrase. Oh, my God. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. I can't tell you how many Democrats I saw over the weekend on the Sunday shows. It's the big, ugly bill.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. This is what you came up with? I get one person coming up with it. One dork. But, like, this is what the Democrats are doing, the big, ugly bill? And you wonder why no one's voting for you? You have no ideas. You have nothing. You have nothing to offer me. The other side has things to offer me. Many wares. Most of them I don't want to buy. But they've got a trunk full of stuff to sell me. What are you even selling me?
I think it's just a lot of these people never saw a politician like Donald Trump coming, and then he came onto the scene, and instead of getting with the program, they chose to just be like, can you believe this? Over and over. It was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Well, we're about 10 years in. It's time to believe it, and it's time to, formulate some ideas.
Well said.
And come up with a plan.
Yeah.
But too many people are content to just be like, it blows my mind. I can't believe it.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I am seeing it. I've been seeing it.
Saw it.
Yeah, tell me what you're going to do.
Saw it all.
Right? Like, what's your do? What are you going to do? What's your counter plan?
Because Trump's telling me everything he's going to do.
Right.
He's telling me it all. He's calling every shot.
And it's kind of hard to sell people on a plan that has no ideas behind it.
Amen. Just not that guy. That's all they got. See that guy? We're not like him.
But also, I mean, I just don't like turning the same phrase against someone is not ever really good or creative or useful because people see it for what it is, which is just lazy.
We always see everything.
It's just lazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it? You spent all that time and that's what you did?
Sometimes I'll use the analogy that like that ad I saw one time that made such an impression on me where your credit score is above your head. And if we all had our scores, we'd all just be a lot more humble. But we all see it. We all see what each of us are doing. Individually and as groups and as political parties, we see it. No, don't you agree? 90% of the time, you don't get to fool people.
No. You can fool people on little things, day-to-day things, but you're not going to fool people on big things people see.
Yeah.
We're not, the idea that people are, it is kind of the Joni Ernst thing, right? Like, duh, yeah, of course people know that people die. Everyone dies. We all know that. There's no immortal beings on this planet. None of us think we're going to be, but like, it's the duh part of it. Like, okay, that's not an explanation. You're just saying something.
Yeah. A mom is in trouble because she took her, I believe, 3 kids grade school, junior high, and high school out of class for the entire last week, saying, I'm not stupid. I've been to school. Nothing happens the last week, and we could spend that much more time together, so they're out. And some people are applauding her. There you go. That's some forward-thinking parenting. You're right. The last week of school is a whole bunch of nothing. And other people are saying, this is terrible. It's a terrible example to set for your kids. You're lazy.
I don't understand why it's a terrible example to set for your kids.
Like, you don't have to finish school. You can just leave early.
Well, I mean, the implication is that if she's able to take them out, it's not like they're missing a final or anything and now they're going to fail their classes. They're probably little kids. I would judge the situation more from the standpoint of like, why don't you want your kids to kind of have that closure with their friends and have the field day and the award ceremonies? Like, there's value in that. You might think that it's stupid because nothing's being graded, but that's a socializing aspect of school that maybe your kids don't want to miss out on.
I did love that last week.
Yeah.
The only week I liked.
Did you guys get to do the thing where like your last day and you're just like throwing your papers on all over the hallway and all that?
No,
Did you guys
they
do that?
No, didn't get to do that.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, we had to clean up our desks.
We did not get to do that in Catholic school, but in those years when I was in public school, boy,
So you just
Yeah,
got
that's
to go
scrubbing
crazy?
the toilets.
I don't know if we got to, but we did.
Wow.
You're just walking through the hallways and throwing papers around.
Okay, so it wasn't like a sanctioned thing. It was just
I don't
a
know if it
thing
was
you
sanctioned or not.
did.
We never got in trouble for it. We were never told in
You were
advance,
little animals.
don't do this. We were like second and third graders who were like, woo!
You didn't have to clean it up.
Finally free.
We were done. We're gone. It's the last day of school. You going to come bring me from my house to my school?
Those are rapscallions.
Yeah.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast, What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Tell you guys about Susan L. Ward, having been divorced and having done a couple hundred divorces as an attorney. You are going to get through it. Now I'm going to sound like the Buddha or something, but especially if you have kids, you owe it to your kids to get along as well as you can. Now, every situation is different, and if someone is just very difficult to get along with, or there are abuse issues or addiction issues, everything goes out, and you'll need to get a guardian ad litem, and it'll be a tougher system, but anything for the kids, right? Hopefully everyone agrees with that. As simple as you can make it, do. As generous as you can be, do. Because, like I said, life goes on. And you're going to look back at that and don't want to be feeling like you were playing a Monopoly game and you were kind of a jerk and you look back and think, I wish I would have done that differently. Susan L. Ward will be your conscience. Susan L. Ward will be your protector. She'll be your partner. She won't be your therapist. Okay, she's not there to make you feel better, but she will help you along the way to say, this is reasonable. What they're asking for is reasonable. Let's not fight just to be mean. Or what they're asking for is really way too much. I know you want to be generous. I know you want to be the good guy or the good person. But so she'll give you real advice. She'll give you practical advice, and she'll get you through this process. If you can hear my voice in the state of Missouri, she can represent you. She has many offices across the regional area. 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Rach, you mentioned this the other day, and it didn't quite stick with me, but Sydney Sweeney, very lovely young actress, is somehow selling something that has a drop of her bathwater in it.
Yeah, she's selling a soap with, I think the brand name is Squatch.
Dr. Squatch.
Yeah, Dr. Squatch. They're selling soap that has a drop of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater in it.
For $50, you can take a bath with me. Just putting it out there.
Also, I mean, they're not, right? Like, sure, they can say that in an attempt to sell soap.
Well, they can't say it and not do it because then you're false advertising.
I don't know if that's how that would work.
It is
Well,
when you say, yeah.
one bath would do it if you're only doing drops.
Mm-hmm.
One bath is trillions of drops.
Yeah.
So
It's disappointing to me because this is kind of a move for like girls who typically make their living on the internet, like either doing pornography or like streaming in a provocative way. It's like, hey, I'm the hot chick. You can buy my bath water. It's become like a punchline and a joke.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney is like a legitimate actress.
Movie star,
I
yeah.
thought it's just weird to go down that path. I guess it's just a reflection of the culture, and I'm just getting old and cranky, and I can't believe this is happening. I guess I should believe
I love it when you guys in your 30s like getting old.
Well,
I've had a front row seat.
I get it. I mean, it makes me feel a little old, too. It also feels like a bit of a step backward. Like, I thought we were past that particular moment in pop culture where it was like, you know, oh, the soap has the hot girl's bathwater or whatever. I don't know. I thought that I felt like that sort of thing was a moment in time in our culture, and it felt like we had moved on beyond that to other things.
It's an interesting
to
question.
where that sort of thing didn't interest us anymore. And
So, how long ago did the Me Too movement start? About
2017-ish.
Okay. And I saw something today, and it was what will happen with Weinstein now that the Me Too movement is over. Like, is it over? Did it just, we all learned from it and said, okay, not doing that stuff again, and it's just not there anymore? Like, where do you think we are now? Not even so much with that, but just overall, like, where are we in society?
I think with Me Too, I really hate to be one of those people who are like, the girls took it too far, because that's not how I feel. But I think there were a couple of cases where it was like, wait, why are we trying to cancel this person? But you kind of had cover because that's just what was happening at the time. It doesn't seem like a free-for-all as far as like, okay, you can name whoever harassed you nowadays. Like, there was a period in time where it was like everyone was doing it and it was accepted to do that.
Yeah.
I think a large portion of that got revealed, and then less legitimate things started trickling out, and then we as a culture went like, okay, let's kind of cool our jets on this. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm open to being told I'm wrong.
What do you make as a young woman, sort of like the Sydney Sweeney thing, and you've talked privately with me about this, but I'm confused, being a man, by the whole women have never been stronger, Never have they had more agency over their bodies and their sexuality, yet we're going to show you anything you want to see. It's a weird conundrum to me.
I think there's been some effective messaging. I hate to call it like a psyop or something, because usually I think that's silly. But it is interesting that it's like the key to empowerment. The message from a lot of people is also your empowerment also happens to bring men a lot of sexual gratification. I don't think that's an accident that so many people have landed on that conclusion. I don't necessarily agree with that conclusion. I think for some people, that path is great and fine, and God love you. Like, I just don't understand why it's being sold to every young woman as like the key, because I don't think it's the key. I just don't. I think we've taken a step back in several respects, and we've kind of kidded ourselves. We've spent so much time saying like every choice is valid. Not every choice is valid, actually. No, there are times where people need to be like, that's too far. You need to stop. This is not the right thing to do. But our culture is very much just like, don't criticize me. Don't tell me that's wrong. It's okay if I say it's okay. So then you're the bad guy if you try to argue that. So,
And you're not a bad guy for questioning anything.
Right.
Even if something like, if you really had agency, you'd be showing your boobs. Like, you can question that and say, I'm not sure that's right for me. Did you see that Biden's a robot clone?
I did not.
Yes. It was on the
I missed
White
a lot this
House
weekend.
social
I knew it.
media. White House, someone tweeted out their theory. Look at his forehead. It's sloping here. Now it's not. He's a robot clone. And the president of the United States re-socialed it, whatever you want to call it, on the White House account.
From chili cook-offs to Friday night football, Belleville knows how to show up. And now, so does KMOX on 104.1 FM.
Cardinals get the win. They visit the New York Mets tonight. The Blues, they will play Saturday at 5 o'clock.
It's your news, your sports, your city. Loud and clear on the FM dial. 104.1 FM KMOX. The voice of Belleville. The voice of St. Louis.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com. Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters.
We take you now to Dave Murray's forecast.
It's a warm afternoon with lots of sunshine on this Monday. 88 should do it for the high. Then tonight, partly cloudy skies. Keeping it in the 80s for evening plans. We'll drop it back to 67. Tuesday, partly sunny, a little breezy, a little warmer, and a little more humid on Tuesday, 91 degrees. We should hit 90 plus on Tuesday for the first time this year. Clouds take over Tuesday night. Showers and thunderstorms developing well after midnight. 72 for a warm overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday unsettled with periods of showers and thunderstorms and quite humid. 85 each day. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket wait list at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Cards manager Ollie Marmol joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bernie's segment is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. The great Bernie Miklasz joins us now. Bern, how's your weekend?
It was good, man. Just chilled as always and watched a lot of ball. Caught up on some TV. Life was good.
Nice. Saw a couple of your TikToks over the weekend, and a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One, you were making the point that Ollie Marmol compares very favorably to one Tony La Russa early in his career, and also that we are playing better than about half a dozen teams with a 200 million plus payroll.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the reason that I brought up the La Russa and Marmol comparison, just so we all understand each other, I wasn't trying to claim Ollie Marmol is a better manager than Tony La Russa, because of course he's not. I mean, Tony La Russa is a Hall of Fame manager, second winningest manager in the history of baseball, and the winningest Cardinals manager in franchise history. But when Tony La Russa came to St. Louis, he had already won a world championship and 2 pennants in Oakland, and he had led an underdog White Sox team to the playoffs at age 38, Tony La Russa. So when he came to St. Louis, it was his third job, and he had great experience as a big league manager. But yet, if you look at TLR's first 4 seasons, at this point of the 4th season, compared to Marmol's managing to this point of his 4th season, in other words, the same exact point in time in the 4th season, both managers. Ollie Marmol's got a better winning percentage than Tony La Russa did. Tony La Russa did over that same time. And so he also had every advantage. I mean, he had plenty of experience. He had already won a World Series and 2 pennants. He had led 2 different franchises to the playoffs. He inherited a team where Bill DeWitt and the owners were taking over. They were throwing all kinds of money around. They increased the payroll by quite a bit. You had Walt Jocketty making all these trades. There's all kinds of big name. The Cardinals went out and got a lot of big name players right away for TLR. And compare that to Marmol's situation, where basically he took over at a time where the team was about to go in a transition, and at a time where they were cutting payroll, and at a time where John Mozeliak, had kind of lost his fastball as the president of baseball operations. So Ollie Marmol, despite the fact that it was his first managing job in the big leagues, and the fact that he took over a time that, unlike Tony La Russa's time when he took over, where the Cardinals were being really careful about spending, and Ollie Marmol didn't have Walt Jocketty as the general manager. Why is it that he would have a better winning percentage than Tony La Russa at the same exact point into their fourth season as Cardinals manager. My point in my whole point in making this is it's my firm, strong belief the Cardinals fans basically don't know what they're talking about. The ones that are constantly berating and putting down Ollie Marmol. And you know who agrees with me on this?
Who's that?
Tony La Russa. I was speaking to him today on another matter, and he said, "Yeah, I saw that." And he said, "You know what? You should defend that guy. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job, and people need to show him some respect." I agree, and I'm not saying he's the greatest manager ever lived. Heck, they may collapse the rest of this year. I have no idea, but it's just funny to me how he's got a better record at this point in his managerial career in St. Louis than Tony La Russa did. So what do the haters say about that? I'm just curious. What can they possibly say about that has any credibility whatsoever?
I don't think there's anything, Bernie. I think it's just as simple as we're not allowed to have patience anymore.
No.
Right? I mean, when the DeWitts took over and Tony came in, it was following a down period, or by the Cardinal standards, certainly a down period. And I'm sure at the time there was angst, but there wasn't social media. There wasn't a lot of the stuff that we have now that can feed some of the weird negativity. But it's just we're not allowed to be patient anymore. We're not allowed to let younger players develop. We're not allowed to let a manager learn on the job. I mean, it's not like Tony La Russa went into the White Sox world and lit them on fire and said, "We're amazing and we're great." It took him time to become Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer. He wasn't that on day one.
Right. No doubt about it. And that's why when I wrote a whole column about this, that you can find it really easily on sportshubstl.com. And that's the point. The other thing about Tony La Russa, and again, my point here is not to denigrate him. He's the greatest manager I've ever covered. Have nothing but respect for him. But it just shows you it's not an easy job, even for a guy that's already won a World Series and 2 pennants. Because they had some pitching problems. They had some bad injuries. But the fact is, in his first 4 seasons, Tony La Russa, people forget this. He had 2 losing records. And after his 4th season, when it was finally complete, his winning percentage as a Cardinals manager was under 500. That's not going to be the case with Ollie Marmol. He'll be above 500 at the end of the season, Bernie, as a Cardinals manager.
Take me back in time when Tony finished his 4th season and had a below 500 record. Were people calling for his head?
I got to say, there was, like Wheels just said, I mean, there wasn't any. There was some social media, not in the form of what it is now, but there were some message boards. There was forums at different places. And people were, there was a very noisy group of people that were very, very hostile. In fact, one guy said he was going to rent a plane, like one of those little Piper Cub planes or whatever, and attach a banner during spring training during the Cardinals game at Roger Dean Stadium. And the guy did it. And it said something like, La Russa must go. So they were flying banners
I mean,
over the field of Jupiter. So, that stuff has always been out there. Listen, let's face it. There's always going to be a faction of people, no matter what happens or how much a guy wins or whatever. They're going to be shredding him as if the manager was the dumbest person in the history of Western civilization. There's just a lot of miserable people out there. And the thing that always surprises me about this is that they don't hesitate to show people basically how stupid they are. You think you'd have a little, you'd be kind of embarrassed, but there's no shame. There's no shame anymore. Listen, when I screw up and say dumb things, I come back and say, you know what I said last week, that was pretty dumb. But that just doesn't fly anymore in today's culture.
Yeah. I know when I arrived here, so it's almost 19 years ago. It'll be 19 years in August. I showed up August of 2006, and people were out for the manager. They were out for because 10 years in, and he's won nothing and all this stuff. And, of course, they won the World Series that year, and then 5 years later win another one. So now there's no bad memories of Tony La Russa. It's only the glory. And I think what's fascinating, and I wonder if you guys just psychologically think that there's something to this idea that some fans, because I get into this with people on Twitter a bit, Bern, and I'm curious if this rings true with the two of you guys, that I think sometimes people just want it to be one guy because one guy's really fixable, right? So you just change this one guy, we could be where I want my team to be. And the truth is that's just nonsense. Most of the time, it's much more complicated than that. Now, there are times where a coaching change, managerial change can have an instant impact. We just saw it in hockey. We've seen it twice with the Blues. But that was also a roster that wasn't in a bad place. It was just things that weren't working. But I do think people like to oversimplify and make it seem like if this one guy was just different guy, we'd be champions.
Can I answer that? So we talked about religion and we talked about politics earlier in the show. And I think that people love a couple of things. They love emotion, and they love to be angry, and they love to be smarter than other people. And religion and politics are one of those areas where you can do that, but not like sports. Sports is like a candy store. You walk in and it's dripping with emotion. There's elation, there's hatred, there's rivalries, and I just think that in the world of sports, people indulge their inner demons. I think it's just that simple.
Well, despite what I was saying and calling people stupid, you just explained it brilliantly, DG. You did. You did. And you also explained it with class, unlike me. And that's why you're Dave Glover. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. My compliments.
Thank you.
It's fat. And look, this team is not done yet, Bern. I mean, we had to know that there's going to be some cooling off from an 18-5 stretch. I mean, nobody plays at that level for a long period of time. And then the question now becomes what does leveling off look like? I know it was a tough weekend in Texas, for example, but, you got Kansas City. I saw you put out today, this month is going to tell us a lot. I would say if you're just a couple games over 500 a month moving forward, you're going to be all right.
It's hard to say because we also don't know what the other teams are going to be doing. It's going to be really tough to make the playoffs. Clay Davenport, who's a legendary analyst, he updates a projection every day. He gives the Cardinals a really good chance to make the playoffs, but he also says it's going to be about 88 wins to get that third wild card spot. So I think that's doable. I do, but we can talk more about this. I know tonight we've got Redbird Rush Hour and some other things. I'm with Matt Pauley also tonight for a segment on Sports Open Line. But there are some signs with the Cardinals that give me a little concern. Their offense is way too inconsistent as of late. Like in half of their 7 of their last 14 games, they've scored 2 runs or less. The bullpen is having some issues after being really good from about April 25th up until recently. You have some individual hitters that are really struggling right now, being Nootbaar, Scott, Arenado, Pedro Pages, I think I said Arenado, throw him in there, so there's some things going on. And by the way, if we all watched those games, and I did, their defense was uncharacteristically sloppy on that road trip.
Yep.
They 7 errors in 6 games, and they gave up, I think it was like 7 unearned runs on that road trip. See, they got to tighten that up because coaching staff that doesn't strike out people, you can't have a defense giving the other side an extra out or two. So they've got some things to clean up. And I think for the time I'm willing to acknowledge that their inability to hit home runs is starting to hurt them. The doubles are fine, but even the doubles have slacked off a little bit. But their swing has really fallen down and down and down. So can they reverse the trend? I'm not sure, but I do think it's okay to point these things out. I do have some mild concerns.
Fair enough. I mean, I think those concerns will come, they ebb and flow, right? Like there are going to be times where a thing that's a problem now is not a problem in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And it's about what else is compensating, right? So if the defense slips a little bit, are you scoring some more? If your starting rotation struggles a little bit, are you scoring some more? Or is the bullpen picking it up? I mean, there's always going to be something misfiring. As long as it's not 3 or 4 elements at once, you stay out of the big losing streaks.
No, that's right. And they just came off, and it's only the 6-game road trip, and against it's 2 teams that had some flaws, but the Cardinals, it was sort of like we saw the worst of their offense and their defense this season in those 6 games, and that's okay. It's only 6 games. I'm just making the point. The starting pitching for the most part has been fine. It wasn't in Baltimore. I mean, Fetty and Gray were fine in Texas. So there's been, Andre Palante struggling a little bit. I don't care about Liberatore having one bad start. No. He had a bad start of the season. So I think we saw a couple of their worst recent tendencies on that road trip. And I think after a day off, they'll regroup and get things going the right way again. But boy, it's going to be a tough schedule starting tomorrow. 32 games in 33 days. They got 1 day off. Once they start tomorrow, they play 13 games, they have a day off, and then they play 19 in a row without a day off. And there's some really, really good teams on that schedule.
So I just went and bought tickets for every game when the Cubs are here in June.
Oh.
I think it's going to be a battle.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I think it'll be great, great entertainment. And then even the rematch up in Wrigley Field, which will end this stretch of 32 games in 33 days, that ends with a 3-game series at Wrigley. So where will the Cardinals be as of July 6th? I don't know. I know this. They'll have only 71 regular season games remaining. And the other thing is they're going to be about 2.5, 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. So
yeah,
that's why this stretch is so important to the Cardinals' immediate future.
I love it. Vern, tell us about Saliga.
Absolutely. Saliga Heating and Cooling has been taking care of our family since, well, not know the specific year, but it's about 16, 17 years now. And we are huge fans and really respect and love the fact that Saliga Heating and Cooling is so good at what they do. And of course, they've been taking care of generations of St. Louisans since 1927. This Daikin Comfort dealer has just set the standard for honesty, professionalism, knowledge, prompt service, where you can depend on them to show up when they say they will. They've always looked to save us, the Miklas family, save us money, with a lot of low-cost solutions instead of going for the most expensive thing and trying to talk us into something. They're the exact opposite of that. They're going to look for ways to, not break our budget. They've done things where they say, no, you don't need a new boiler. You're going to be good for another 2.5, 3 years. So no need to buy that right now. And so that's why we've come to trust Saliga Heating and Cooling basically 100%. And I recommend their Priority Club. It's a maintenance plan that'll save you money by extending the life of your current equipment. You'll receive priority scheduling, and you'll have the comfort of knowing your home is safe and ready for all seasons. So if you want to get in touch with this Daikin Comfort dealer that has the most trustworthy comfort service in town, find out more. You can call them at 314-481-7333 or visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Tell you guys about BioBalance Health. Talk about them pretty much every day. And whatever it is that's keeping you from making that phone call, I'm going to guess it's a couple things. And I'm going to play amateur psychologist here. I'm going to guess it's either like we're having this discussion about when the first time you feel old, when you're going to a doctor who specializes in helping people feel young, you're not super young anymore, but just get past it. It is what it is. If you're 38 or 48 or 68 and you're not happy with the way you look, specifically your face, although it can be other parts of your body, like with the M-Sculpt, we can help you with your tummy and things like that. Or it could be overall that sexually you're not feeling great. You have felt much more energetic in the boardroom and in the gym and just in life in general, not sleeping well, your mood's not great. The pellets that I get, that Trish Gazelle gets, that hundreds and hundreds of people from the DGS alone get, will bring you back and probably de-age you about 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, depending on how it interacts with your system. For all things Dr. Maupin, go to biobalancehealth.com. Welcome back, guys. DGS 250 on a Monday. She's someone was captured after stealing $1,400 worth from a Dollar Tree.
Whoa.
That's hard to do.
It's a lot of trips.
You got your arms full.
Mm-hmm.
1,400 things, right?
Right? Pretty much. That's the kind of stick-to-itiveness I'm looking for.
Did they say any of the items that were taken?
No, just had armfuls.
Man,
I haven't been in a Dollar Tree since they raised it to $1.25.
You're no fool.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun to look around sometimes and see what you can get.
You ever wanted to steal something?
That's a hard turn.
I've definitely had the thought before, like, oh, you could just take that and no one would know. And then I'm like, well, if you get caught doing that, it's going to be so humiliating and horrible. Like, it's easy to make that thought go away. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just wrong. But it's like, even when it's not like often that I'm like, you should steal. But I'm not going to lie and say I haven't had that impulse before. But then it's like, no, not even close to being worth it.
Andrew, I'm guessing you've pilfered something.
Never shoplifted once.
Good for you.
Never once. It scares me. I don't want to get caught. The thing is, I've never seen something that's like, yeah, this is worth me, destroying like my reputation, my relationship to the store that I'm going into,
right.
Some sort of like, legal action or criminal action taken against me. I've just never considered it.
You have a lot invested with Casey's.
I do. That's the thing. It's like I go here all the time. I can't do this to Casey.
I almost stole from the E-Mart a couple of weeks ago.
Oh?
Yeah, I just took my drink or whatever it was, and I just walked off, and then I was like, wait, you got to pay for that.
I did that the other day because when you beep it, it gives you the pay screen.
Right.
But sometimes it doesn't.
Oh.
And so I held up this soda and gave a really mean look like I was going to buy this.
Yeah. You just lost out on business, buddy.
$3.69, baby.
Have you guys ever been around someone stealing something and you're like, no.
When I was a kid, my friends shoplifted all the time.
Really?
They called it cobbing.
Okay.
I cobbed some marshmallows.
I had in high school, my buddy's girlfriend was doing this at a record. We were in one of the record stores. And she's like taking tapes and like putting them in her coat. I'm like, I am out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving. I'm not waiting for you guys. I want no part of this. I'm not going. I probably should have, like, if you're doing the right thing, you turn somebody in. But at the high school age, I'm just like, get me out of here because I'm so afraid of consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be even remotely attached to this. Bye. I did not see them, I don't think, for probably another week or two.
What would you do if you were buying a $200 item? And when they rang it up for $75. And they don't say anything like, well, look at you. You got an extra little money off here. It's 75% off day. They just make a mistake and you know it. Do you just walk out with a $75 item?
Yes, and then I have to go back in and correct it because my wife yells at me. Because that's happened like 3 times. Either that or I was given
tell her?
Either that or I was given the wrong, because I know it's wrong. And so like the most recent one I was given like wrong change. Like I was given way too much. Like I gave them a 20 for a $15 thing and they gave me back $30. Like some completely egregious mistake. And then I walked out and I'm like, okay, we get back in the car and I'm just like, okay, Megan, tell me what you think I should do. And of course she's like, you should go back in there and give them the money back.
Did you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I felt fine. You know what I mean? Like I probably would have felt bad if I didn't do it. So it's like, it was nice to not have to deal with a guilty conscience, which I was already having, which is why I brought it up to her in the first place.
You're kind of like George Washington.
I think so. I mean, I told them
he needed someone to tell him not to cut the cherry tree or whatever.
I told him I would like a picture of me in the store. You know, if they could just put up like a big hero shrine.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any insight into the cherry tree story? Because all I've ever heard is he chopped down the tree and then someone was like, did you do that? And he's like, I cannot tell a lie. But why did he chop down the tree in the first place? He gets completely absolved from cutting down the tree because he didn't lie about it. But why did he cut down the tree?
He did not cut down the tree.
They took some...
What's going on with this?
It didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
He didn't throw that dollar across the Potomac either, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Like, he still did the crime. He just owned up to it. Like, if you admit to murdering somebody, that doesn't make you, like, honest and a hero.
Of our country.
So,
yeah.
So the George Washington's, commemorative thing called MountVernon.com says it's a myth. The cherry tree myth is one of the oldest and best-known legends about George Washington.
Well, it's stupid, and it doesn't make a lot of sense
And also,
when you think
calling
about
out
it.
their own boy.
A 6-year-old chopping down a tree. It'd take months.
He was big.
Unless
He
it
had
was
to
a
make
little
teeth.
tree. If it was a little tree, maybe it'd be a little faster.
He had to make his teeth out of it.
Yeah, he had those donkey teeth. He probably just cut it down with that. Tell you guys about Triton Exteriors. Whether another storm blows through and you have damage. When I was at my therapist a few months ago, and we do therapy at his house in Webster, and he was complaining because he had a leak in the roof and no one could get out for a couple of weeks. And I told him, hey, I've got this guy and he's in Webster. Give him a call. And without even playing the Dave Glover card or telling him any secrets about my therapy, they were out there that afternoon. They had it fixed by the next day. So if you have something that's really an emergency, they're going to understand what an emergency is and they're going to take care of it. Maybe it's something elective. Maybe you just need to do a new roof, or you want to do some new siding. We're a James Hardy Smart Siding Company, gutters, fences. We're almost always going to be the middle bid because we're not going to cut corners and we're not going to take advantage of you. We'll explain every single thing on our bid sheet, every hammer, every nail, every square of shingles. 314-717-1159, Triton-STL.com.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Summer's coolest mattress deals are going on now at Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. This summer, save up to $1,000 on select mattresses. And say goodbye to hot sleep and save up to $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze collection. Plus, feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Better sleep starts at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, we've got sunshine, 86 degrees downtown at the Arch. This news update is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer is releasing plans to improve the long-term tornado response, which she says will help with the recovery phase.
Spencer says the city has secured a large warehouse that will serve as a key distribution center for large-scale donations, and this makes it easier to connect with the community-based organizations.
This warehouse has 140,000 square feet. It's being prepared right now as we speak. We've leased it for 6 months with the potential for expansion and extension on that.
Spencer says this warehouse will serve as a hub site to accept very large donations and then distribute those items throughout the community. Spencer says these resources, they're going to be needed for many months to come. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Missouri legislators are back at work in a special session called by Governor Kehoe to pass an incentive package to keep the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals in Missouri. They're cutting it close. The Chiefs have said they plan to make a decision this month on a future location, and Kansas has already offered them a better deal. The Conservative Freedom Caucus is threatening to block any tax incentives for billionaires unless there's tax relief for others. Senate Democrats are mad about how Republicans ended the session abruptly to push an abortion ban through. Needless to say, political watchers say the deal is no slam dunk. New hope for some breast cancer patients.
Pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca says its new breast cancer drug can stop mutating tumors before they start to grow. Unveiling positive trial results on patients with advanced breast cancer, the company said its camizestrant cut the risk of a tumor progressing or a patient dying by 56%, and it significantly helped improve general health and quality of life. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
The Missouri Broadcasters Awards are out. KMOX wins for Best in the State in categories like breaking news and breaking weather for our coverage of dangerous tornadoes and flooding. Maria Aquina's investigation into nursing home conditions won for Best Hard News reporting. Megan Lynch and I sweep the Best News Anchor category. The Chris and Amy Show beat out other St. Louis talk show competition to win Best Opinion Commentary. My story on seeing the solar eclipse from a Southwest Airlines flight above the clouds won for Best Feature reporting.
We're pretty much in the middle of the zone of totality. Because you can see how dark it is below us. But if you look out towards the horizons, notice how much lighter it is out there. We're pretty much at real close to peak totality.
Totally dark. It's besides the horizon, of course, but oh, I can see the corona. Yeah, that's beautiful.
There was like a little bit of sun that was showing, but that was it. It was completely almost covered. It was pretty cool.
It was like the outline of the sun almost.
Yeah.
Friday night, KMOX legends like Joe Buck, Ron Jacober, and Jim Jackson inducted into the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. The KMOX business desk, sports betting stocks are getting slammed by a new online sports gambling tax in Illinois. Jason Brooks has the details.
There's a new tax in the Illinois state budget, which was a late addition and is charging sports books operating in Illinois 25 cents for each of the first 20,000 online wagers taken annually, and then 50 cents per wager beyond that initial level. The new law is primarily impacting DraftKings and FanDuel operator Flutter Entertainment, which do a lot of business in Illinois. And an analyst with investment firm Jefferies says in a note that sports bettors in Illinois may be driven to other online gambling platforms like Kalshi.
DraftKings shares are down 10% this year. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index with Stifel's Scott Link.
Good afternoon, Michael. Trade tensions with China flared up again over the weekend, and U.S. manufacturing activity contracted in May to a 6-month low. However, major markets shook off the news and closed higher to start the week, with the Dow Jones rising 35 points to 42,305. The S&P 500 was up 24 to 5,935. The Nasdaq rose 128 to 19,242, and the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was off 9 to 1,542. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Bayer up 17 cents to $7.24, and Boeing rose $4.15 to $211.47. And the leading decliners were Edgewell Personal Care off $1.78 to $25.84, and Build-A-Bear Workshop was down $3.41 to $47.63. Finally, Stifel Financial fell 66 cents to $93.10. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC, New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
The early summer feel continues to run right through Tuesday, then slightly cooler. Lots of sunshine on this Monday afternoon. Have to call it warm. 88 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s for evening plans, 67 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, partly sunny. It's a little warmer. It's a little more humid, though there will be a touch of a breeze. 91 for the high on Tuesday. We have not hit 90 plus so far this year. We should do that on Tuesday. On Tuesday night, clouds take over. There'll be some showers and thunderstorms late night, 72. Wednesday and Thursday, periods of showers and thunderstorms and quite humid, 85 each day. It does not look like much in the way of severe weather, especially on Wednesday. Still some questions about Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've got sunshine right now downtown at the Arch. It's 86 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. For over 65 years, Renner Garage Door has delivered top-notch service, sales, and installation. Get your free estimate today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. So in the next segment, we're going to talk to our friends from Pride Fest. Four Hands has done a St. Louis Pride citywide, beautiful cans.
Very nice.
Very nice design. And Kevin, not only do we have our friends from Pride Fest, but we have a special friend. But we're not sure who it is yet.
Huh.
It's either the Hamburgular or Grimace.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could catch a flyer to be both of them, but it's one of them.
What?
I know.
Rubble.
The burglar of ham.
Do we have to get the name right if we talk to him, or can we call him the burglar?
I don't know. Watch your P's and Q's. I'm not pissing the burglar off.
I mean, he is kind of a criminal, you know?
I mean, he's right.
Well, it's only a hamburger.
Kind of defines him.
He needs to get in on the theft discussion from the
Yeah.
previous segment.
Burglar, you ever just, I guess you have.
Doesn't he have like a striped shirt because of...
Yeah, he's got a convict.
Yeah.
He's been caught.
He's gonna pull his iron out on Kevin and be like, "My name."
Yeah, I'll be like
burglar.
Be like, go ahead, punk.
Make my day.
Make my day.
So you got a glamour witch story?
I do have a glamour witch story. Well, it's actually not about a glamour witch. It was more to draw a contrast between. I feel like you
sure?
As a glamour witch, you
Right.
would never do something like this.
Good.
So there is a woman who has recently gone viral because she posted about her experience buying a love spell from a witch that she met on Etsy.
An Etsy witch.
An Etsy witch. So she finds this witch on Etsy. She sees that she is offering love spells. And she was like, okay, so I want to do a spell on this guy. Here's his name. Here's his birthday. You would think this would be kind of a confidential interaction, but the Etsy witch went behind this woman's back, found the crush on Instagram, and told him, hey, this lady is trying to do a love spell on you.
Wow.
FYI.
Was she trying to make it work?
No, she was just exposing this woman.
Oh.
So I don't know if she's a real Etsy witch or not, or if
Right.
she's someone who just firmly believes you should
Like an
not.
undercover?
Yes, like she believes you should not be doing love spells. So
Right.
she kind of entraps these men and women and then informs their paramours of what's going on. But I thought there's no way my friend,
No.
Dave Glover, the glamour witch, would ever betray a client's trust.
What happens
like
in the
this.
coven stays in the coven.
I don't know. I might defend the Etsy witch here. Isn't it kind of unethical to make someone fall in love with you with magic?
Isn't it more unethical to take money to make that spell and then tell?
Well, they're both unethical, but I mean, one's just taking from a jerk who's trying to make someone else do something against their will.
But they're not trying to make them do it. They're just
But
using
the spell
magic.
the spell's make. First of all, this is all nonsense. There's no magic. There's no love spells. It's not a real thing.
I can't believe you're saying this to Dave.
No kidding. I got a little extra nude at home.
Is this
with
17?
Your name on
Is
it?
this 1726 or 20? Well, sorry, 25. 1725.
So a lot of people replied to this story and were like, girl, she wanted your man.
Oh.
Like, she got the info, then she looked him up on Instagram and thought, oh, I want him for myself. Better expose.
The enemy, my enemy.
Yes.
I
Better
get it.
expose this girl so he thinks she's crazy and trying to do a
And
love
then the
spell
good
on
Etsy
him.
witch can then do the love spell herself.
Yep.
Did we see the dude?
We did not see the dude.
I would need to see the dude.
I think the woman who got caught buying the love spell is pretty squarely humiliated and humbled. And
Let's do the reverse situation.
Okay.
Guy using a love spell on a lady.
Yes.
Okay or not okay?
Certainly.
yeah, it's not cool to do a love spell.
I mean, it's not real, so I guess it's not that big of a
You're
deal.
all hurting
but...
my ears right now.
This reminds me of something that I've seen on
Great
TikTok. It has nothing to do with witches, glamour, or otherwise. But I have seen girls paying like hot girls on Instagram to be like, you need to do a loyalty test of my boyfriend. So what I want you to do is slide into his DMs and be like, hey, I'm going to start going to college in your town. I'm just looking for new friends. Do you want to be my friend?
Is that what you're saying to DM?
Apparently so. And then they judge the way the man responds. And oftentimes the man will be like, sure, I'll be your friend. And then she'll be like, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, oh, it's complicated right now. And then they're like, got him. We trapped him. How do you guys
But
feel
these
about
aren't
it?
witches.
These are not witches.
Okay,
These are
so
just
this is no spell.
these are just
Then I don't care.
girls
Just
trapping
undercover?
men. Yeah, how do you guys feel about that? Because I always
I don't
feel
have
like
a dog in the fight.
I always feel like that's a little. I mean, I guess you want to know if your boyfriend's gonna be one of those people, but also like you created the situation. It just feels icky to me. It feels bad. It feels like something we shouldn't be doing.
What if someone did that to you and you didn't?
And you passed?
No, but you didn't pass with flying colors.
Okay, I get you.
Like to you personally.
Like if someone was trying to
Yeah.
catch me,
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? What would I do?
Like you were nice to the person, but you weren't like, oh yeah, let's definitely get together. But you didn't tell them to blow off.
What do you mean? What would I do?
And then you got like
In trouble?
right.
I would be like, why did you put me in that situation in the first place? That seems kind of bad.
Right. You could
It feels like you're just like looking for trouble
You know, you
in
could
that
just-
situation.
you could just do a spell.
I could just do a spell.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, if you have reason to not trust your partner, maybe that in and of itself is the problem.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't trust this person. You know, if you don't trust them, that's a bit of an issue in a relationship. That's a hard thing to get past.
I can't concentrate.
Yeah?
I'm just looking over my
You're
shoulder.
trying to find the hamburglar?
Looking for the burglar.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't like the whole test people thing, though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. I don't think that should happen. I don't even like secret shopping.
What?
I always felt like that was a manipulative practice when I was in retail. It was like, hey, you better do this every time or we're going to send in a secret shopper and you're going to get a terrible grade. It's like, dude, come on.
We had those at Mr. Donut.
Really?
The guy that managed Mr. Donut was fond of bringing his friends in and
Okay.
critiquing you.
I have less of an issue with a business owner doing that than a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife.
I mean, I was making $2.87 an hour.
Man,
so.
they don't want you ripping that off.
No, they don't. Tell you guys about Ophthalmology Associates and the Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. Let me bottom line this for you. When you get your eyes examined, it's going to be by one of three people. It's going to be by a just pure technician. They know nothing about nothing. Or an optometrist, which is an actual job, or an ophthalmologist. And it's pretty rare that it's an ophthalmologist because that is a medical doctor, the same as an OBGYN or an oncologist or a surgeon. The only difference is they take care of your eyes as opposed to taking care of your gastro or your bones. And so you're going to have a medical doctor look at your eyes to make sure that there's nothing sinister going on. You're certainly going to get an amazing exam for your glasses, your contacts. And if you have any interest in the LASIK procedure, or if you're my age or older and you're starting to get baby cataracts, like I have baby cataracts now, and he said you're probably looking at 15 years. So I can certainly, forget about it that long. But one of these days, I live long enough, I'm going to need cataract surgery. These guys are the best. 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. Pride St. Louis is coming up at the end of the month. There's a special kickoff tonight, Monday, June 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Four Hands Brewing Company, located at, is it 1220 8th Street? Is that right? Because we're at 1222. That doesn't make no kind of sense at all. I don't like it. That's spooky.
It's going to be here?
Yes, it is going to be here. I was just showing the guys the beautiful artwork, and we, of course, are very supportive and allies here. Marty Zuniga is president of Pride St. Louis. Good to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So you guys have kind of been through it this year, right? I mean, we don't need to revisit the past or talk about who's in or who's out, but it's been a process.
It has. You know, it seems like every year there's something that always happens. We can never have a nice, smooth Pride Month. There's always something that comes up or something happens politically or nationally or, you know, just something messes with the process. But, you know, one thing it has taught me is this community is resilient and we find a way to get through it. And we will celebrate the best possible way we can.
Excellent. Take me back through your history, if not the history of Pride in general.
Sure. So Pride, we're all volunteer-based organizations. So I am not paid. I have a full-time gig outside of this. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I've served on the board, luckily, for 15 years now. Been involved.
I like to hear what I call the pulse of the city.
Your city.
Local news coverage, local traffic, culture, sports, local radio. It's important to me.
We started as a protest down Magnolia Street, and now we parade down Market Street, which is a huge success and leaps and bounds of where we've made it to, which is phenomenal. But every year, like I said, we have our shortfalls and we have our hurdles to get through. And this year, the community has really come together to support us. Where others may have fallen, this year, others have stepped up, like Four Hands and the community in general, to help us raise the funds to be successful this year.
Very nice. And so for like Bill Maher, who I'm kind of a fan of, He's kind of a moving target politically, but he's very fond of saying to the left, whether it's LGBTQ or it's something else, like, hey, you guys should be happy for the progress you've made, and it's not 1975. Do you subscribe to that, or are you more like, yep, but still whole lots of work to do. Let's go do it.
Oh, for sure. We're never done, right? So as we have our successes over the years, and like I said, we started as a protest, and now we have a festival and a parade. We continue to have challenges, and it all comes through these different administrations that lead us politically. Unfortunately, we're at a time now where there's a lot of political unrest, and there's a fear and led by hate and anger, and that is channeled back to us in these marginalized communities, like my own LGBTQIA+ community and other marginalized communities. It's the unknown and the fear of hate. And so what we've challenged ourselves to do is we really need to educate people about who we are, what we believe in, what we stand for, and how we need to continue to fight for our rights to move forward. As we take 2 steps forward, it seems like there's always someone trying to take us 2 steps back. And so that's what we just want to advocate for, is that, we're your coworkers, we're your family members, we're your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. And, it's about who we love and who we want to be with. And everyone, like I always say, whatever floats your boat, right? That's you do what you do, kind of mentality, and we all can just get along. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about just acceptance, right? That's all we want is acceptance. And having this month to show people what that acceptance is and educating people the right way about the process is all we want to do.
Yeah. And I am very heartened that, so I was for gay marriage before Barack Obama was. It's just never made sense to me. And it's always made sense legally, like under the 14th Amendment, like, how are we not doing this? I mean, this is kind of crazy. What does acceptance look like in 2025?
Sure. I think the acceptance looks like just allowing us to have a safe space to come to work every day. Acceptance allows us to, love who we want to love, be able to engage and interact with people at various levels and opportunities, to have a seat at the table, right? And just be able to have our voices heard.
Yes. Grimace just walked in. You're
I
always getting upstaged by Grimace, right? I mean,
I live for this. And McDonald's is a great partner of ours. Speaking of local folks, a lot of the local franchises here have partnered with us over the years.
Oh, that's close.
Grimace is trying to find the chair.
Almost became Grimace.
There you go.
That was close. There we
go. Made it. We are on the camera. Us and Grimace. Yes.
Excellent.
So we're very excited to partner with McDonald's and, again, like Four Hands as well, to be able to provide and give us the opportunity to educate people on what we do. They're a great partner. They employ a lot of people. They have a great resource group as well. So it's great to have them here and Grimace here as well.
Excellent. I'm a big Grimace
Dave has
guy.
been nerding about this for about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Well, I was so excited.
Like, what am I going to ask? What am I going to do?
I knew it was going to be either Grimace or the Hamburglar, and either way was fine, but Grimace was my first love. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Grimace is short for words, but yeah.
He makes up for it.
Yeah, Dave can feel the love.
Yeah. Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah.
I think we can all feel it here, right? Mascots have always been drawn to me.
That's a good point.
I can't be around Fredbird.
Everyone we've ever been in, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, they go straight for the head.
Man.
So,
yeah.
So what are we looking at tonight? What's happening tonight?
Sure. So tonight at Four Hands, it's our Pride Kickoff. This is a free community all-age event. Four Hands is picking up the tab for your first drink if you come by, which is great.
Wonderful.
High Point, which is their resident restaurant there and house, is providing free food for the first, I think, 150 people that come by, obviously. And then we'll have Grimace will be there, along with some other mascots. You mentioned Fredbird and Louie. They'll both be coming by at some point in time. We'll be announcing our community award winners, where we acknowledge key volunteers and organizations that have gone above and beyond to help us throughout the year.
Yeah.
And our new Pride Royalty Court will perform as well. So I think the mayor is going to stop by as well and say a couple words. She raised the Pride flag today for us at City Hall today, which is great. So, yeah, we're just kicking it off. We're 2 days into a fun month and 28 more to go.
And then Pride Fest proper happens June 28th and 29th?
Correct. June 28th, 29th, right here outside your windows.
Yes.
Right here at the park surrounding Soldiers Memorial. So we have some great entertainment coming. Jordan Sparks, David Archuleta, Fiona Boss, Madison Rose. Grimace will be there as well on that stage.
That's right.
So, yeah, and they'll be in the parade, too. I think Ronald comes by. So, super exciting. It's a fun time. It is.
It's tough to
He's
get
a rock
Ronald.
star.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Try telling Grimace about Ronald.
Always second string. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride.
Always.
Yes.
Always. Take a quick break, Rach. Do you have questions for Grimace?
Well, I actually had a question just about Pride Fest. I know this year some of the corporate sponsorships you've had in the past didn't re-sign on, so the admission's going to look a little different this year, right?
That's correct. So for the first time in 45 years, we are charging an admission to get into this festival. We've been very grateful in this city that we were able to produce a free festival for the last 45 years. But I'll be very clear that we will not turn anyone away. We have allowed an opportunity for the community. I get it. There's hardships for everyone. $10 to me means something totally different to someone else. I totally understand that and respect that. And so if there's a hardship or a barrier to reach that, you can go to our website, pridestl.org. You can apply for a free pass. We will gladly send one to you. We'll also do that at the gates. And so I'll be very clear that we will not turn anyone away. We will let everyone have an opportunity to celebrate with us. But this is the first step to going forward so we can make sure we can continue to celebrate for 45 more years to come. So, and also, if there's a hardship someplace, and, you know, this ticket is just the first step in making sure we can connect with these people. They probably need access to other care in this community. And so we want to make sure then we can get them to the other folks who are doing great work like Vivint Healthcare or Doorways or people like that, where they may need additional services that they may not know how to get to.
Yeah.
So this is a great way for us to connect to our community and say, here's your ticket to allow you in to celebrate. If you can help us buy the tickets, you can even pay it forward online. When you buy your ticket, you can even donate another $10 to buy someone else's ticket, which is great. And people are doing that. Yeah. And it's great to see that community come together and doing so.
What about people, because it's in our backyard every year. So what about people who are not in the community but supportive of the community, but they've never been to Pride Fest? Like what's it like going to the experience?
Sure. We're a family-friendly festival. You know, people always say it's great people watching. It is from that aspect of things, but we have a family and children's area dedicated with programming just for people with families, which is great. We have an amazing food court that highlights so much local flair here. We have some great restaurants, right? To do so. We also highlight a lot of local entertainment. Why we have the headliners that I mentioned. We also have tons of local talent that'll be performing throughout the weekend. And so we encourage people to come out and just engage, educate themselves. We'll have over 300 booths down here, from people selling their wares to different nonprofit community groups advocating for the services they provide and things like that. So it's a great way just to come and to educate yourself about the community and what we do.
Love it. Tonight is from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Four Hands, which is 1220 South 8th Street. Dave Hines online says, I was gone for 10 minutes. When I return, I find Grimace and Pride Fest best day ever.
I love it.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH, or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I like to hear what I call the pulse of the city.
Your news, your city.
Local news coverage, local traffic, culture, sports. Local radio that's important to me.
News, weather, cards, games.
Relevant local talk, local content.
Locally oriented, which I like.
KMOX is part of the neighborhood.
Commentary about things that's important to me.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's just kind of my hometown radio station.
The voice of St. Louis.
That's what captivates me. That's why I turn it on.
So it is a new month for Zero Res. The deal is 3 rooms of carpeting starting at $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning. It is summer. It is like late spring cleaning. It's about to be probably close to 90 degrees today, if not, it's going to be tomorrow. And I'm such a believer in these guys and have so much trouble with my animals and the small amount of carpeting I have in my hardwood home that they are coming tomorrow at 8 a.m. to my home to get it done because I put my money where my mouth is. I believe in all of my live clients. I've had Zero Res out to the house many, many times. They're just fantastic. My appointment's at 8 a.m. When I look outside at 7:45, they're going to be sitting there so that they are on time. They'll be in a marked van. They'll be in uniforms. They'll come in. I'll show them my small amount of carpeting that I have. Tell them about the animals. They're going to get all of the odors out of it, all the nastiness, all the dirt, all the pet dander, all the dead skin cells, and I'll be good to go for another year or two. 3 rooms of carpeting, $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning. 314-474-2020. ZeroResSTL.com.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is being cared for by your local Lennox premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating. Special savings opportunities and federal tax credits are available, so call 314-756-9444 or visit online at scottleeheating.com.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they switched the lanes on southbound 55 between Bayless and between Bates and River to Pear. There's delays right now from north of Arsenal, jammed to about President Street, and then it's slow all the way down through Bates. So it hasn't really changed a whole lot as far as your delays on the drive home, just a different configuration of those lane setups. Westbound Highway 64, Science Center out to Clayton Skinker's slow. It's slow again from 364 all the way out to Highway 70. Westbound 70, just a little busy at the city limits. There's some slow stuff right around Zumbel, and then A through 61, a little off the pace. South 270, not jammed yet. It is slow, though. Page to Ladue, approaching 64 down through Doherty Ferry and 44 down to Gravois. Westbound 44, bogged down at approaching Lindbergh, getting on to southbound 270. Downtown, it looks great, headed across the bridge into Illinois so far for you. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. It's only my second time meeting Grimace.
Oh, you've met before.
We have a history.
Does Grimace know?
There was a duel.
This may not be the same Grimace.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think Grimace evolves. So, hello, Dave.
Hello there. I want to hear the story. For the first time you meet, what were the circumstances and what happened?
I was wearing the Grimace costume, driving to Springfield, Illinois with my friend who worked for McDonald's.
Ah, so you.
Yeah.
You were Grimace.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Riding shotgun, waving at people. Those sort of hijinks.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So I was
What was
inside.
it like in there?
I bet.
Very hot. Very hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it gamey or was
It was a little gamey. I may have been responsible for most of that, but
Okay.
Yeah. It was my only time being in a mascot outfit, strangely enough.
I've never done it, believe it or not.
That's hard to believe.
I know. It's exactly my personality type. Is guy in mascot suit.
Yes. So, Dave, we're going to hit 90 tomorrow, you think?
We're going to make a run at it anyway. It will kind of depend on, I'm going partly sunny. It will be a bit dependent on how much clouds in the afternoon, but certainly in the 80s. If we hit 90, we're just going to barely touch it, 90, 91. And so it will be a struggle, but there is at least a shot. We're getting back into an unsettled weather pattern. Not a heck of a lot around tomorrow, but there could be a spot shower, an increase in scattered showers, a few rumbles on Tuesday night. Wednesday, periods of showers, a couple of thunderstorms, breezy and 80. Keep that going Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. This is not a widespread severe weather outbreak for us. There will be thunderstorms, but I don't think it's a lot of severe weather. Most of that should stay well west and well north.
Okay, so over the week, Dave, if it affects a game, it'll be momentary. It's not going to be like prolonged.
Yeah. Prolonged because it takes time to put the tarp out. It takes time to take the tarp off. It takes time to warm up the players again. So any time they throw the tarp on, you're probably looking at a good hour.
Yeah. Wheels, I was sort of surprised they played in the rain as much as they did the other day when they were in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, but they got to get it in. You know, when you're in a city for the only time during the year, they're going to get it in. And they don't like to sacrifice off days if they can avoid it. And because off day for the Cardinals that day is a travel day. So when we, when we talked to Ricky, they were already in Dallas. They were already down there, or Arlington, if I'm going to be more technical, but it's the same thing. But that's something that players care more about and teams care more about than we know. Like off days being the off days.
Sure.
And then also not ever having to give up an off day later to make a one-day trip to a city.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I bet it's hard to overestimate the physical weariness, even by this time.
Yes, and you hear a lot from sports dudes, and I mean just like people that follow all sports, like, oh, it's just baseball, it's not that hard. Like, you do it and not even play a sport. You travel, 3 different cities every 2 weeks.
And being away from your family for a long period.
And sleeping in hotels. And I'm not saying it's a miserable life. It's not. But it isn't physically easy. Right? Anybody that travels can tell you that, man, you spend a day going through an airport. At the end of that day, you're tired.
Yes.
You're done. You're worn out. And those guys get to skip a lot of that, right? They don't always have to do that. A lot of them are flying charter. Most of them, I think they all fly charter now. But that doesn't change the fact that your routine is completely out of whack every other week. So you're 1 week normal-ish, and then the next week you're in 2 different cities. Sometimes you're going on a road trip that's 3 different cities, and you're just managing all of that while playing 162 games in 180 days. And it is physical as much as you don't want to think it is, because those guys are lifting weights every day. Those guys are doing a pregame routine that's 2-3 hours long every day on top of what you're seeing in the game. So people act like, it's just baseball. Yeah, it's a lot more than you think. And if we put you through that day and maybe 2 or 3 of those days in a row, you'd have a different feel for it.
Mm-hmm. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. This is a very sad story. Voice actor Jonathan Joss of King of the Hill was fatally shot in Texas. At the age of 59, he was shot by a neighbor following an argument. If you've ever watched King of the Hill, he had the role of John Redcorn. Always just loved that character, those storylines. They're actually reviving that series this summer, and John Redcorn was coming back. It's just very sad that this happened. Jonathan Joss. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, did an interview with CBS Sunday Morning this weekend, and he was asked about President Biden's ability to lead. He said he believed Biden was in good shape. He never questioned Biden's fitness for the job and never noticed any signs of cognitive decline.
That's so stupid. That's just so stupid. Like, I saw it, and I'm not a former president, which means you should have seen it. Sorry.
That's protection. Protection.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly right.
Dave Murray's exactly right. Bill Clinton called this new book, Original Sin, a distraction and an attempt to blame Biden for President Trump's reelection. So, I mean, it does kind of feel like it's just like, why would we admit fault in any way? Of course, everything's fine. All right. Bill Gates announced that Africa will be the primary recipient of the $200 billion that the Gates Foundation plans to donate over the next 2 decades. The majority of the funding will be used to address challenges in Africa. The foundation does intend to give away the money over 20 years before closing in 2045. That's part of Gates's goal to donate 99% of his wealth.
Good. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides that. I mean, good for him. someone with that much money and going to give away 99% of it, and Africa can certainly use the help and do it over 20 years. Great.
A pioneer podcaster is calling it quits. That's right, Mark Maron, Dave Glover show guest.
Yeah, my best friend.
Said on his latest WTF show that he will end the program sometime this fall. He says he's been doing this for 16 years, and it's been a great run, but basically it's time.
Good.
It's kind of crazy that he began in 2009.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to skip that story. It's kind of boring. No one wants to hear about that. So the Milky Way's chance of colliding with the Andromeda galaxy billions of years from now, a new study puts the odds at 50-50. So it might not happen as previously thought. The latest forecast suggests better odds and a farther timeline for the potential collision. It's good news for the Milky Way, but we're probably not going to witness the outcome because the sun is going to go kaput in about 5 billion years. So,
Dave, I'm not sure if you've heard this, but I've always heard that if and when we collide with the Andromeda galaxy, that it's possible that not one piece of matter will touch another piece of matter. That the distances
that
are
much
so
space, huh?
great.
Wow.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that it will affect
That's amazing.
The gravity will spiral everything.
Right.
But we, not one planet may not touch another planet.
That's crazy. And we're talking, what, trillions?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
U.S. home sellers are sitting on a record $698 billion worth of listings. This is a 20.3% increase from last year and is attributed to factors such as growing inventory, slowing demand, and rising home sale prices. There are nearly 500,000 more home sellers than buyers in the current market. So that leads to a significant amount of unsold inventory. And stale inventory has increased, with 44% of listings in April of this year remaining on the market for at least 60 days. One more story for you guys, and then that'll be it for headlines. The TSA is issuing a new warning for airport travelers. They say don't use USB chargers at airports due to potential malware risks. The agency advises travelers to avoid plugging their devices directly into USB ports. Instead, you should use a TSA-compliant power brick or a battery pack. They also say avoid using the free public Wi-Fi at airports because hackers could access personal information.
Okay. A woman woke up to an intruder sucking on her toes.
Again?
A 27-year-old stalker in California got arrested after he broke into a woman's house and woke her up by sucking on her toes.
Didn't we just have a story like a year ago about a guy doing, a hotel employee doing that?
Yeah.
To a person staying in the room?
He was a cereal guy. I mean, as in he did it in a cereal kind of way.
What is happening?
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
It's the Applejack's frog.
Oh, that's definitely like a... I don't know what's the worst cereal.
This is so funny because in this story, it's in my show prep, and in the story they're saying maybe you could talk to your audience about whether that's more pleasant to be awakened by than someone with a gun. If you're in my home,
there's no difference.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
There's no difference.
I'm probably more scared.
that you have I almost said a bad word. You have the nerve to just do that?
Like, if you're pointing a gun at me, I'm going to assume you probably want money or something.
Right.
If you're sucking on my toe, I'm like, well, there's no telling where this
somebody
thing's
that's
gonna
got
go.
that confidence or that lack of giving a crap, that's your scary one.
That said, I will take the toes over the gun.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Man.
I mean, don't you have
the
to
toes
pull the
thing's more
covers
like
back?
Okay, look, it's two bad options. I'm not like... I sure hope it's two bad options, but
Yeah, but no one's gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, you're just sucking on my toe."
Oh,
Okay,
thank
no
God.
worries, no worries. Do you need something to drink? What's up with you? Like, that's gonna be pretty scary.
A newly discovered species of male spider ties up the female before mating so that the female doesn't bite their head off. Now we're getting somewhere.
Evolution.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, these guys, after millions of years, are like, hey, they just keep biting our heads off. What if we tied her up? I don't know. The Mission Impossible TV series, which was on in the 1960s, invented the term self-destruct with their famous mission instructions that it would, quote, self-destruct in 5 seconds. Before that, NASA had never used that term.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun fact.
Thank you. Cops in Florida have arrested a woman after she allegedly stole mementos from graves so that she could use them as lawn art at her home.
Stop it.
That's pretty metal.
No bueno?
That's low.
We just got an amazing comment on Facebook. Can I read it?
Sure.
Posted the picture of you and Grimace. And I can't lie, John, you had me in the first half here. He said, I miss when KMOX had a stronger dedication to news gathering and interviewing policymakers. This is on the Grimace photo.
Yes.
It really should have been Mayor McCheese instead.
That's really good.
Slipped in there.
That's really good.
I was like, hey, oh.
Well played. Well played. Yeah, I'm glad it was Grimace, but I'm a little disappointed the burglar didn't make it.
I was
You're a
hoping
little
for,
afraid.
Yeah, I was happy with Grimace.
Yeah.
I liked the
Life-size
way.
burglar might be a little too much.
Yeah.
He could have been there, and
We just have such a
didn't know.
history with the burglar, you know?
Yeah. He'd be like, I heard you've been talking about me for years.
Yeah. Now, remind me, were you afraid of him as a kid?
No, I just said hamburgular one time.
Oh,
and
that's right.
you never let it go.
That's all it took.
You said it again.
Now, remind me, he killed your whole family, yes? Oh, no. You just said it funny with him. Okay, got
I
it.
just mispronounced as I often do.
I promise this is true. If I took you to my home right now and took you to my refrigerator and there's one thing sitting on top, it is a hamburgular action figure that I bought for her when she first said this like 3 years ago. And it's still sitting there. I'll try and bring it in tomorrow.
Still in the eBay box.
That's right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, quick break. Right back. DGS and KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report is a service of Siding Express. Headed out the door and heading home westbound 70. There's some slow stuff around Jennings Station. There's a little slow at Zumbel, primarily just A to Z on the Wentzville area right now. Really not bad for 70 drivers. Even 64, it's just slow. Westbound from Kings Highway headed out to about Clayton Skinker. A little busy at the Boone Bridge, not that big of a deal. It is bogged down at 364 and jammed west of the Boulevard out to 70 right now. South 70, that's getting a little heavier. It's slow at Page, jammed from Olive to Ladue. Remains off the pace to about Doherty Ferry and then through 44. Westbound 44, bogged down just west of Lindbergh, getting on to South 70. Southbound 55, south of Arsenal to Bates. Stop and go most of the way through there. Again, a different configuration with the lanes, but the delays aren't any worse. So that's good news. And then there's some slow stuff, Z to McNutt and approaching Highway A after that. And also seeing a little volume eastbound 64 onto the Poplar and east of Barack Obama Avenue over to 70. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardy Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardy Siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Well, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Plus, hits it, gets by defender, now tucks it home! Oh, Joao Klaus wins it, slides it, City lead! Right foot, we got it, baby! Edward Leuven! City lead! Goal kick, they'll stop it there! Your final, St. Louis City 2, San Jose 1. We're back, baby.
Up next, City SC faces the Portland Timbers Sunday. Kick at 6 p.m. on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Welcome back, DGS 1041 FM KMOX. So, a new Bigfoot video?
What?
Yeah, have you guys seen this?
I have.
Okay, I believe it's on.
Many people have sent it to me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Colorado River, I believe. It's like the upper Colorado River.
Yeah.
How does that gel with your understanding of where his habitat is in?
I don't so much get bogged down in the habitat. I think these things can live pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But the thing about Bigfoot videos is this. It's in a place where you might expect to see a Bigfoot. It seems to be taken by a family who were caught unawares by the foot. And it looks just like you would think a Bigfoot looks. So the problem with that is when it's too good a quality, you think hoax.
Mm-hmm.
But if these things are real and you happen to get a good video of it, that's what it would look like.
It would look like that, right? Like that's exactly my thoughts.
The big conundrum.
Exactly my thoughts as well.
Because this one looks a bit like the one taken from the train in Colorado, where the thing is walking, then it like sits down on its haunches, which is a thing that you see him do a bunch, according to all the accounts I've read and listened to. But yeah, it's cool.
And that one is not a hoax, I believe. I mean, we talked to those people.
Yeah.
And they said that,
they legitimately filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it would ended up being like the suit of a local store.
I don't think so.
I think that was a different one.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Not this one, not the current one.
The one from the train?
The one when they're on the train walking.
Don't know.
I thought that I'm going to Google it. I thought that. I read that. But we'll see.
Hate to be a naysayer, but I'm not buying this latest video.
Too good?
Do tell.
Just the fact that he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, I don't know.
But how else would they walk? Come on now.
But we don't know. We, like, you know what I mean? It's almost like, it's like... I don't want to be disrespectful, but
you have
like an image in your head of like what Jesus looked like, and it's like
a little too close.
Yeah, like Bigfoot, it's like someone just said, "Oh, well, this is exactly what he would look like." It's what you said before. It's what you said before. And then when I saw the way he was moving, it didn't seem like the foot was thinking, "Oh, I've been caught. Let me retreat." It was like he was giving the camera more at that point.
Do you know the guy? Do you know the name Michael Rugg?
No.
So he is the curator of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum in California. He said the train one looked like a man in a suit.
Okay.
But I didn't see anything that said it was a hoax.
Yeah.
Just that his opinion was that.
What makes him Mr. Guy?
Good question.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you put up a museum, you get to have an opinion.
Oh, this is what it was. So there's an RV business in that area that has like a Bigfoot suit somewhere that guys dress up in. That's what they
And
thought.
just go
could
run
be.
around in an open field?
No, not in that. I think that's not what it was. It's just that it looked like that suit.
Gotcha.
And those guys were there, but whatever. I mean, I think this other one looks better than the one from the train.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a curious, like not sure what's going on over there. Like looking at it like the people would be looking across that valley.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell you guys about First Missouri Credit Union. 2-level sell here. First Credit Unions. They are like cooler versions of banks. We all have uncles, and maybe you have the one that wears the suit and the pop collar. Then you have the cool one that always smells a little weird. That's credit unions. They're way cooler than banks. They're going to say yes much more often, although they're not foolish. These are business people. They have a fiduciary duty to you as an owner, and if you put $25 in a checking account, you are an owner, which means when you ask us for something, it's not coming from a customer or client, which would be very important. It's coming literally from one of the owners. They work for us. The thing I think is most impressive about them is they'll offer you more interest on their checking account than most banks right now will on a certificate of deposit. There's a bank over by the High Point that every day has a big flashing sign that says 4.05 on a 12-month certificate of deposit. We'll give you 4.27% every single day on your checking account up to $100,000. 2 locations down on Lee May Ferry. Go to the number one STMOCU.org.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights.